Hi, everyone. Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. You guys, I want to start tonight with the song that I made I don't know what I'm going to do yet, which one I'm going to do for the show, but I want you guys to hear it. Why not? So hold on, I'm going to share it. I have a couple versions of it. I don't know which one. Wait, hold on. What? I have to share it. It started to play. Yeah, that's the one I want to share. Okay, let's see. Hi, everyone. Sorry it's so late. I had a long day. All right, let me show you. Media player. All right, here goes nothing. Let's see what happens. Let me know if you guys like it. This is like, I feel like when you do stuff like this, it like shows your, like who you are a little bit. So this gets into my psyche a little more too. All right, ready? Here goes nothing.
Open tabs, margin notes, highlight of lethal quotes, research mind, steady eye, patterns only she can note. I 90 fog, whispering under wheel, skyline, afterglow, 2 states, packed rooms, quiet minds that know, no sign needed out front. They circle to her voice, questions rise before she starts, curiosity by choice. She pivots mid-lecture, checks who's leaning in close. Say the part you skip out loud, that's where the learning goes. Heads on with the speakers up, Biggie in the background, mind still mapping theories while the city slows down. She teaches the why behind the crime, the hurt behind the face, Philly in her backbone, psychology in her grace. Don't let the hype fool you, she stands 10 stories tall. She don't just teach the lesson, she teaches you through it all. Late nights, case files open, notes in the margin glow. She's showing you your story's roots, so you can choose where to go.
What's up, crazies?
Quotes inside the slides, right next to coping skills. Spread love between the lines of how a nervous system feels. Long days, quiet grit, humor in the punchlines. You are more than this moment. Written 10 times, old assessments in a folder, ink dust on the sleeve. She can map anxious attachment before you know you breathe. 1 foot in Jersey lecture halls, 1 on the Philly street. Home is where she learned to fight, classes where we don't repeat. Grown kids texting check-ins, pride she doesn't post. She teaches minds all day, then goes in mother's most. Case files, true crime, mind behind the scenes. She doesn't tell you what they did, she shows you what it means. Your story is not your diagnosis. You are allowed to rewrite it.
Welcome in, everyone. All right, so what do you guys think of that one? Maybe at the end, I'll play another version of it, like on the outro, and we'll see what you guys think. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you. All right, let me unshare that. Hi. Hi, gang. Where are my crazies at? Where are my crazies at? Who's here? Cuffy said, boom. Is this a song you had AI do? So, Harlot, this is the thing. So we did a professional development today at our college. Meanwhile, I was rubbing my eyes and now they're not even, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm not here for a beauty contest, but this is the thing. When you start like working with AI, if you use it as a tool, you wind up creating together. So if you used AI, you would be putting in different prompts than me. Yes, I absolutely. It's called Suno. Suno, Suno. There's like a free version, but of course I had to buy the thing so that I could play it on YouTube. That's how they get you. But yes, your story's not your diagnosis. That's right. And you could change it, right? You could rewrite your story any way you want to. But this is the thing. So I literally have been playing with this for hours. So you wind up tweaking it. And then I'm like, no, I don't like that word. I don't like that word. So what I did was I put in there what I want. and then I'll ask it to like rhyme with this, and then it'll give me a few things, and then you tell it to give you more, and then you give it da 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 da, and then you go over to the Sono and you put in your it's just the whole thing. But yes, absolutely, and everybody should be using AI. Maybe I'll do like an AI tutorial type thing one day. I'm like an AI queen. You have no idea, but I use it as a tool, like I said, as we all should. I dig it, but wait, what is it? Oh, you liked both of them. Cuffy, I don't even remember which two I gave you. I made like 6 others after that. I made so many versions of it, and I kept changing. Not necessarily the lyrics. I was changing like the beats. So, okay. So anyway, today we are going to revisit Ruby Frankie and her, what are they called? Her videos. Okay. So her videos, I have to fix this. It's going to bother me. So her videos, you guys, are unbelievable. And I think, does anybody remember how long, yes, how long ago it was that I guess Cuffy would remember. There we go. That's a little bit more even. That would have bothered me the whole stream. I had to go like that real quick with my brush. That would have bothered me. Do you think AI can make people parasocial if they use it as a friend? 1,000% YouTube bad actors. As a matter of fact, some of my students, well, today at our professional development, there was a teacher there, and she started laughing, and she's like, what did she say? She said, this AI, she said, they say it doesn't have emotions, but it does. And I was like, no, it doesn't. Like, it plays on your emotions, so it'll tell you what you want it to tell you. Like, it'll tell you how amazing you are if you want it to. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, it's not. It doesn't have emotions at all. So this is the thing. It could be dangerous in many instances. If you get like the paid version, of course, you're going to get, not when I say better answers, I mean answers as far as if they're correct or not. So therefore, if you have a paid version, and let's say, so I have a student, we went back and forth with this, and I actually agreed with him at the end. So he was having a hard time through a breakup, and there was nobody available to talk to him in the moment. So he has his paid version of his ChatGPT, and he knows that I would have freaked out, but he said that he used it as a tool and not as a therapist. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Because that's what I'm always preaching to my students. And he said that he was telling it the good and the bad, like he wasn't lying to it. He knew it wasn't judging him. So he told him like the good things and the bad things, and asked it to tell him like reasons why, it would, like, what are the pros and cons of this relationship, da da da. And he said by the time I was able to get back to him, and it was yes, Marie and Bella, thank you for becoming a member. You guys, I changed the little thing, so if you subscribe, there'll be one thing. This will stay up for a little bit now because I want everyone to know how amazing you are, Marie and Bella, for subscribing, for becoming a member. I appreciate you, Queen. Thank you. And I lowered the volume so that you guys don't have a heart attack, or me for that matter, because let's be honest, there's a few times that I was like, oh my gosh, like, thank God I don't have a heart attack or something during that. So I'm assuming that everybody else felt the same way. So I tried to fix the volume there too. I also lowered the volume on some of like the internal things. So hopefully if there was any buzzing or anything, all of that's gone. I'm trying here, you guys. Yes, YouTube, I did. It is turned down. I turned it down a lot. Do you want me to turn down even more next time? I will. It's probably killing people with headphones. That's funny. I literally turned it down. Is it too loud still? Thank you for telling me if it is. Let's see. You're not wearing earbuds. I definitely turned it down. So YouTube bad actors, if you had it on last stream or any of the streams before, you could have had like ear problems from me, and I do apologize. But if you have them on now, I lowered everything in like the in my global settings for Streamlab. I figured out how to do it. I even, to make sure that I did it, I changed like there was 2 eyeballs for the membership, right? So I like changed that stuff so that when it happened, I would know if it updated. So hopefully we're good. The ground, okay, we're hitting the ground running. That sounds still okay. So it's still loud. Okay, it's still loud. That's crazy. It sounds lower on my end, but I can fix that. That's not like it's not a huge thing. As a matter of fact, I should do it right now because I'm not trying to make people be like, I'm not becoming a member because I don't want to have a heart attack or get my ear blown out. You know what I mean? That would just be silly. Okay, let's see. So what did you guys do today? Did anybody do anything good? Anybody have to work today? Where are you guys coming in from? Tell me some stuff about you. What time is it where you are? It's 11:14 p.m. where I am. It is. And I taught all day. And then I had to go and do a professional development on AI. And it was really cool. And we like taped it differently this time. Like it always tapes, but this time we also recorded it long ways so that we can try and do shorts. Because we were thinking about it and we're like, people just don't have the attention span to watch an hour-long professional development. Like, who wants to do that? So we're going to try something new and see if we could do it in shorts to get, even if, obviously, and I'm doing this while I'm talking, you guys. I'm not just, all right, here we go. I'm doing it right now. Here we go. Settings. All right. Dashboard. All right, here we go. So microphone, speakers, collab cam, webcam, da-da-da-da-da. I said da-da-da-da-da. You guys, I know where this is. Oh, here we go. So, that was me. That was me, not that. Oh my God, it tells me that Marie and Bella just became a member, but then it also tells me that down under Crime Talks, thank you for subscribing. Since we met last, I also, you guys, I'm going to try something later. Well, I don't know if it's going to work on there. I think I have to use the other Streamlabs for that. But like, I downloaded this thing to do credits, but I don't know if it'll work on this form of Streamlabs. So I'm going to have to figure it out. But I'm at the audio, and here we go. Oh, that was another thing. You know how we did where Cuffy came up and somebody else came up last, or Cuffy, was it you both times? Whatever, but whoever it was wasn't able to come through, or you guys heard it. I just couldn't. I might have fixed that too, so I'm gonna have to check that out eventually. I was like, look at me trying to figure all this stuff out. Yes. So let's see. I don't understand. I mean, I might have to do it later, but I hope that doesn't like make people not wanna. Wait, I'm in audio. What's happening? There should be a global settings. I literally played with it all day long. Oh wait, I think I have to be in studio mode. There's so many settings on this thing. It's ridiculous. Oh wait, I think I found it. Widgets. I might have found it, and I hope I did. So, while I'm doing this, we are going to talk about Ruby Frankie. And does anybody know how much longer she has in prison? I'm thinking, like, did they ever give her an exact, like, obviously they sentenced her, so that's not, I'm saying that wrong. Does anybody know about how long she will get? This is the thing. If she gets out before her kids turn 18, are we all in the agreement that she shouldn't be able to see the children until, at least they're 18 and can make the decision on their own? What do you guys think about that? Do you agree with that? I do. All right, you guys, I lowered it to less than half, so this should be good. Wait, I have one more. There's super chats too. Let me lower that. All right, it should be lowered. Like it's lowered more than half of when it's ever been ever. So hopefully we hear it now when we do it. But no, we should. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. So I fixed it. So now if anybody subscribes or joins or sends a super chat, you shouldn't get your ear blown out. How about that? Let's see. No seeing the kids. I agree, right? And even after, what about like what about the older ones? Like there's 4 that are older. What do you guys think about that? Like I feel like that must be hard. Now, this is my honest opinion. I feel like the 2 oldest. Hold on, Thor, really? Are you really gonna do this now? I feel like the 2 oldest are able to like make their decision type thing, where the 2 middle, they're obviously able to make their own decision if they're above 18. So that's not what I mean there. But yeah, I don't. Ooh, did it share it? There we go. Yes, thank you. Was that better now? That was definitely lower. Please tell me that was lower on your side. Oh, wait, I have to. Oh, no. I forgot to take it down. Just let me do that again. Oh, wait, PK Bill. Yes. What is happening? Hold on, I gotta read this, you guys. What's happening? I didn't put it up on my phone. Come here, Thor. Can you come up here and stop being like... What's happening? I feel like this has to be wrong or something. Like this is not right. Something doesn't seem right. Ooh. That was louder than anything else. All right, let me see what this is. This has to be like... What? Oh my God. You guys, Bella and Marie sent a Mind Behind True Crime gift membership, and then PK Vale. What's happening? Why is it doing that? Now we're just going crazy. There's no way there's more. So this has to be going off now by itself. So if it does that again, I'm gonna have to go back into StreamYards and fix whatever it is that I just did. Whoops. Hopefully it doesn't do that. All right, hopefully we're good. So hold on, I want to make sure that I read who got our crazy memberships. Thank you, you guys. You guys are the best. I am so blessed. So let's see. We have, I didn't see that until now, Cuff You. Thank you so much. I mean, Harlot. I said Cuff You. I read Cuff You's name, but I meant Harlot. My bad. I didn't see that, but I did now. So let me read off what we have here. Let's say thank you to Marie and Bella. Who got yours? Wendy, welcome, Wendy. Welcome to our crazy gang over here. And again, I say that with all due love and respect and as the lead of the crazies. Somebody called us crazies the other night, so we're just embracing it. Then we had PK Vale, bought 5. What? Who got these? Lulu Mac, Morph Makes, Tony New York, Woolab, and J Warren 333. Yes. Please make sure everybody goes and says thank you. You guys are amazing. I really am so blessed. You have no idea. I'm so blessed. And Harlot, you're the best. So if you guys, I would check if you've never gotten a gifted membership before, you might not have it turned on your phone or your computer. So follow Harlot's instructions here, and it'll tell you how to turn it on so that if somebody is so generous and buys a gifted membership that you have the chance of getting that gifted membership. Wow, you guys are amazing. Thank you. So let me tell you what I have up here. So this is the summary of the transcript of Ruby Frankie's journal. So this was vetted. It is the transcript. I don't know if you guys remember, but when we were reading the journal last time, we were fine, but it would have been easier had it been typed out to read because it's written in her handwriting. It's not like she didn't do it on a computer, but this has been vetted. This is her journal. So there was a 60-page journal kept by 41-year-old Ruby Frankie, who, along with her co-defendant, 55-year-old Jody Hildebrandt, wait, let me just put this up here, you guys, so I don't have to hold my phone, and that way I could still see you guys. Hey, what are you saying? Hi, Northern Fights. Hi, Casey. Come on in, you guys. Yes. You have a video with who, YouTube? Tell me. Women's Warrior. I love that name. You guys, I can't wait to show you more renditions of the song I made today for the show. All right, so let's see. My 18-year-old was even like, Mom, that was pretty good. I was like, wait, what? Nothing's good when you're 18. That's why when people actually believe these kids in Idaho 4, oh, here we go with Idaho 4. I love you. I love you, Truth. Truth is like the Idaho 4 dictionary. So, all right, back to this real quick. So, a 60-page journal kept by 41-year-old Ruby Frankie, who, along with her co-defendant, 55-year-old Jody Hildebrandt, is in prison for 4 counts of aggravated child abuse, outlines the training process that resulted in the torture and abuse of Frankie's 2 youngest children. The journals were recovered by investigators shortly after the pair's arrest in August 2023, and it encompasses dozens of pages authored by Frankie starting in the middle of May 2023, when she brought her 2 youngest children to live with Hildebrandt in a remote, affluent area in Ivins. That's all it said. I thought it was going to give me like Utah or something, but it didn't. Jody Hildebrandt's residence of 10,000 square feet, that's huge, is in the remote area of Ivins, Utah. The final journal entry was dated on or about August 25th, 5 days before the pair was arrested, after Santa Clara Ivins police officers found one of the children partially bound and emaciated. Over the course of more than 3 months, Frankie outlined the training program that was implemented with the intent to remove the evil from her 9-year-old daughter and 12-year-old son, whom Frankie describes as spawns of Satan. Ruby Frankie described the program as an intervention for the possessed. Stripping down a child's world to the basics of beans and rice and hard work would be considered abuse, Frankie wrote, but it was necessary for the prideful demon-possessed child. So I think we're going to see here, and I'm going to finish it, I apologize, but I just want to say that one of the things we're going to see here is part of this, like I don't know to be sure, and again, I'm never diagnosing, but I almost believe like Ruby believes, and again, I'm not like, I'm not making excuses for her, but you just like with Lori Vallow, like how I think Lori Vallow has like a delusional type thought process, I think Ruby does too, to be honest with you. So like part of me really genuinely believes that Ruby thought she was like, you know, that she had a possessed child. And then part of me thinks that she's just sadistic, you know what I mean? And then part of me thinks the 2 things can be true at the same time. So let's see what happens. So, okay, in the writings, the program consisted of extended periods of exposure to the elements. One day in July, after the older child was forced to work for hours in the hot sun, Frankie took old mop water and poured it over the child's head. Also in July, both children were told to stand in the sun since only demons stay in the shade. Okay? When the children refused, Frankie used a cactus poker to force the children back into the sun. The heat the children were exposed to was not as hot as the heat in hell, Frankie wrote, telling her daughter That was where the child would burn, along with the rest of the wicked. So either get used to it or start changing, she told the child. Water was restricted, and whenever the children were caught drinking water from one of the garden hoses outside, Frankie wrote that they were stealing water. Imagine that, you guys. Then she writes, quote, he admits to stealing water 3 times yesterday. He lies and feels no remorse. Food was restricted according to several of the entries, and both children were forced to endure days without food or water to invite them to humble. Oh, she drives me crazy. To invite them to humble? Like, are you kidding me? Okay. Following a 2-day fast for her daughter, Frankie wrote, oh, look, I didn't realize I can make it big. Oh, that's too big. Hold on. Following a 2-day fast for her daughter, Frankie wrote, she has hardened her heart and will do 1 more day of fasting. If you want food, then be prepared to tell the truth about your behaviors. I will not feed a demon. In one entry, Frankie says she placed her daughter in a dog bath and shaved the youngster's head for not following instructions. In quotes, all her long hair is gone. No more distracting with hair. Part of the program required the children to perform repetitive tasks that included carrying boxes up and down the stairs for entire days, in part to show them the value of hard work. In quotes, good works need to be painful, she wrote of the exercises. In one instance, Frankie explained the reason for the task to the 9-year-old by saying, it's because you follow Satan that you keep doing boxes. If the child behaved, their mother would say they were being deceptive and they would be punished. So there was nothing they could do to end the cycle of torture. Near the end, Ruby restored to hog tying. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't get that one. Hog tying R up. So R is the younger boy, and then E is the younger girl. E is younger than R. And handcuffing and tying a rope between R and Ruby were 2 weights, so he could not run away. She even watched him shower. Oh, what? And then stuck him in the closet in the bathroom while she showered, so he was not out of sight. What? The scariest part was that since E's wailing and R's running away put them in danger of being caught, they were looking for an isolated piece of land in Arizona where they could escalate the torture. They likely would not have survived this move or have gotten rescued. Okay, think about how terrible that is. Okay, so here we go. Initials and age key. So this is the key, you guys. So E is a 9-year-old girl. R is an 11-year-old boy. J is the 14-year-old sister. And A is 15-year-old sister. Okay, so we have a 9-year-old, 11, 14, and 15. Independent children that are not in the journal are S, who's 20, female, and C, who is 18, a male. Excuse me. And this was 2 years ago, so everybody's 2 years older now. Oh, wow. If everybody's 2 years older now, because didn't they say August, right, of 23? Let me make sure, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Yeah, 2003, August of 2020. See, I have a good memory. I don't know why I doubt it myself. So in August of 2023, so we're like 2.5 years in, which means that her 2 older daughters, so not older, not the oldest 2, the middle 2, one's 17 right now and one's 16. So I don't think I realized that they were both still minors. I don't know why I thought they were like 16 and 17, but they're not. Well, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are 16 and 17, duh. Okay, and then 22 and 20, and then the little kids now are 10 and 13. Imagine that. Oh, so the ages estimated at the start of the journal. Pages were not in dated order, so I have reordered them to be chronological. Oh, that's important too. The first page is blacked out. Now, this is the thing, you guys. If the first page is blacked out, that just means that it was redacted. So, what the heck is behind it that it's redacted, right? So, Jody receives a blessing from the temple president, Steve Kaplan. Ruby, A, J, R, and E come down to Jody's to help spring clean. They meet Jeremy Jaggy, and then there's a blacked out section again. Jody goes to SLC to meet with Jeremy Jaggs and Brad Wilcox. R refuses to do wall sits. He says he's done. R is to stay outside, sleep outside, only to come in and use the bathroom and shower. R turns 12 tomorrow. I've never envisioned him being 12, still peeing and pooping himself. Satanic choices lead one to become destitute, even in the most affluent homes. It's R's birthday, and he doesn't even know what month it is. E and R have been in so much deviant behavior, they won't control their bodily functions. They are both furious that their selfish, sinful lifestyle is being intervened upon. I told R he emulates a snake. He slithers and sneaks around looking for opportunities when no one's watching, and then he scaries. If he wants to emulate the Savior, he needs to be 100% obedient with exactness. No wandering, no hiding, and then a blacked out section. I told R that he needs God. I invited him to fast and pray. R is out of control. R is in and out of possession. He is workable and calm for a bit and then angry and defiant the next. The only consistent thing is that he lies. E is better behaved with Jody. She likes to think she can still manipulate me. I gave her a pixie haircut. All her long hair is gone. No more distracting with hair. R told me he would rather have a glass of water than a mother. Wow. Big day for evil. E manipulates me. She won't scream when Jody's around, but with me, she wails all night. E screams, he cries, and would hit her in the head on the tile, and would hit her head on the tile floor. Today, Jody confronted her. E admits to putting on a show for her mother. E says she wants to be pitiful. R was told to stand up in the sun with his sun hat. He's defiant. I tell him a couple more times. R, or should I say, his demon, stays in the shade. I push R into the sun, but R comes back. I come back with a cactus poker. When I poke his back to get his attention, R, he doesn't even flinch. I poke him on the neck. He's in a trance and doesn't appear to feel anything. Jody slaps him on the cheeks to wake him up. The devil doesn't like when you get your subject to anger or truth. R, do you know I love you? Yes, ma'am. R, do you know Jody loves you? Yes, ma'am. R, do you know the Savior loves you? Yes, ma'am. R wants out of his times. After our talk, R stays in the shade. I take my old mop water. I take my old mop water, and then it says 7. Go to R. I show R the water. Then I pour the water on R. It's hot outside. It feels good, doesn't it? This is the thing, you guys. She's saying it feels good. That is ridiculous. She just poured dirty mop water on him and then gaslit him to be like, it's hot outside. That feels good, doesn't it, son? An hour later, Jody takes R on a little walk to the pool. She talks on how R has love twisted. If R likes something someone does, he calls it love. If he doesn't, he thinks it's not living. Jody then pushed R into the pool. R swam to the side. Jody pulled him out. Feel good? Refreshing? Yes, ma'am. I went out a couple hours later and asked if he wanted the pool again. Yes, ma'am. Will you let E push you in? R laughed and then tried not to act too excited. R cooled off and went back into his spot. I put my hands on his face. R, have you ever heard someone talk underwater? Yes, ma'am. I know R is in there somewhere. I know deep down under all this anger, you can hear me. It may sound like I'm underwater with you, but hear me. I love you. Okay, she's holding his face. I love you. R got teary. Then I put my hand tight over his mouth and nose. I am coming to you in this water and putting my hands on your nose and mouth. The devil, the devil's lies and says, I'm hurting you. But R, what am I really doing? Oh, if this isn't gaslighting, I don't know what is. You are putting oxygen on me to help me breathe. Yes, that's right. R looked like he wanted to beat me up this morning. And then he was intrigued and interested. And then 2 hours later, he drank water from the hose. He steals water. R is compulsive. He feels no remorse for his choices. He shuts down and says he wants to go to jail. R says he worships the devil and has no interest in changing. I want the outcome of being changed, but I don't want to do the work that it requires. R doesn't actually know what jail means. He has no comprehension of what throwing your life away means. R just wants the immediate gratification of sitting in the air-conditioned car ride to juvie while he wants stimulus. R is so back and forth. R stole water. He was angry and looked like he wanted to fist up. I put my hands on his shoulders and told him, I love you. I told him he has no idea what he's doing, but I do, and I can help him. I told him to give your demon friend a message for me. I will not rest. I will not stop. I will not leave. I will fight him until the demon in you dies. Wow, you guys. I have the power of God. He will obey me. I beat Satan. I win. Then I looked R in the eyes and with power and authority, I commanded, get out. Now, go. R immediately smiled, cried, slumped, softened. The demon was gone. He left. I took E and R on a car ride to the Shivitz gas station. I told E she was never going home. I showed her pictures of her on the swing under the big tree. She saw a girl who was hiding, who enjoyed tricks. I told her I saw a daughter of God with I think it's supposed to say divine worth. E manipulated during the car ride. R appeared to soften. I stopped the car and we all got out to view the sunset. I told E she needs to stop her fantasy. She is not innocent. She can become innocent through repentance. Don't waste more time. R and E have been counting the days. R didn't even know it was his birthday. And then there's a blacked out section. E told me she figures they had been here for 8 weeks. I asked E if she felt like she had made progress over the 8 weeks. Yes. I told her she's delusional. She has made no progress. She continues to lie and manipulate. Last night, her screaming and trance head banging were evidence of no change. Then the next day, I took the kids on a 4-hour car ride. We stopped at Gunlock Lake and shared my love for them. We watched a baby cow get loose and walk into the road in front of us. I made the analogy of the not-so-wise calf to them. I was keeping them safe when they want to run in the road. We drove up to Vago. I bought a volcano pie. I told the kids the pie was to thank Jody for her home, care, and time. R appeared engaged. E was manipulative. This is the day E anticipates breaking her 2-day fast. When we get home to Jody's, I let R know E has hardened her heart and will do 1 more day of fasting to invite her to be humble. She flips out and begs, ranting. She refuses to get up. She lies on the floor all day speaking dishonest chants because Jody is on the phone with clients. I don't go in and match her level of aggression all day. She makes rhymes about me, in quotes, My mom starves me and calls it fasting. My mom won't lift a finger and bring me food because all she does is lie on the bed and eat brownies. My mom said she's the most loving mom in the world. Blah, blah, blah. If I can't ever go home, then what's the point of being obedient? I'm going to run away. Jody helped me intervene after work. Allowing lies to be spewed gives the devil a platform. Articulating lies reinforces possession. The longer the lies are allowed to be spewed, the larger the intervention and physical the intervention needs to be. I cut more hair off E's head. We doused her with the dog wash. E said she wanted to run away. Jody told her she has no idea what is waiting for her. And then there's a blacked out section. Next, I may have forgotten to write this. On the 11th, I took R face in my hands and spoke to him. Through loving you, I told him to send the demon a message for me. I will not give up, and then says that part again. This morning, the 13th, R broke his fast with brown rice, lentils, black beans, and chicken and water. The hornet kept buzzing around his chicken. I told R to think of the hornet as Satan. Would you become pals with Satan? Would you sell your soul or chicken to a hornet? He will sting you in the end. R trapped the bee with his sun hat. That was pretty smart. E broke her fast with cheesy potatoes, steak, water, oatmeal, and water. E is full of piss and vinegar. She is mad as a hornet. She doesn't call the shots. It's been about 90 minutes since R ate. I warned him that food would either encourage him to truth or defiance. He's defying again. He pooped his pants and telling me no. His poop is too watery to be fasting. R admitted to stealing water 3 times yesterday. He lies and feels no remorse. E is cheating. These selfish children who desire only to take and lie and attack have zero understanding of God's love for them. They don't know. Jody is selling her home, this priceless Snow Canyon gem, so she can purchase land where these two can work. Jody has been looking for property with cactus, and it's feeling more eminent these days to get these kids to open land. She's willing to consider less than ideal property for them. It is a spiritual matter. I can't, in good faith, leave her with these 2 gremlins. I won't do that. These are God's children. It doesn't matter when souls are on the line. 1 hour later, we moved quickly. Jody is going on a road trip to look at property in Arizona. Ruby has some cash in the bank. If the property is right, we can move on financing immediately. We decided the escalation of the kids is not manageable here. Now R is sitting angry and defiant. E is lying on the floor. We will bring them in, or I will clean R out in the desert. As he has pooped himself, he will then stand on the patio. Shade it. Now I'll see him in front of the kitchen. I will bring him into the cool house. She can lie in the pantry. They will think that they won. They think they got what they wanted. They will. Then poop. We will drop them. Then poof. It says pop or poop. I don't know what she's saying. We will drop them like hot potatoes out in the desert. Their new home. You're going to get exactly what you asked for. Oppositional force is required for growth, development, and maturity. E and R have never experienced oppositional force. They are very weak-minded. So I must jump in here as somebody that teaches child development and tell you that that is absolutely not true. And that, you should absolutely have boundaries for your kids, but that you should also, so there should be rules and regulations, but that there should also be communication. So, yes, mommy dearest, right? Let me see what you guys are saying too. Hi, Kalisa. Who else is here? Hi, Wendy, Casey. Let's see. Hi, Gutter Snipe. Hi, Lucy Day. Hi, you guys. Oh my God, I'm so excited you're here. So this is the thing. So wait, where are we at? We are on page, let's see. 7 to 19. So I'll finish reading this page and the next, and then I'm going to stop and we're going to watch a video. Okay. So hang in there. We're almost there. So sending an evil way in a long time possessed person is not one and done deal usually. These wicked spirits, wait, real quick. Cuff you, if you can, if you want to be like the bestest for me, could you send me a few of the horrific videos, like the ones that you know what I mean, right? And that way, if you email it to me, it'll just be easier for me to just grab real quick. That would be so helpful if you could do that. If not, no big deal. Okay, so we're under pattern now. So these wicked spirits in E and R have been pals long before this life. How E and R got to come and get a body can only be explained in advocating to be their mother. This is not a conceited statement. God knew I would take my responsibility to mother seriously. Jody teamed to help. These two souls are very weak of mind. They are fools, truly. E said she would choose the devil over God. What arrogant spew. God is patient, not to split her with a bolt of lightning. You do not tempt God, who controls your very breath. The disdain and hatred they have for God is beyond my ability to describe. My spirit is offended. I shudder to think I would never have seen this had I not pushed on them. Holding boundaries will show you how much possession a soul has. The more boundaries, the more the soul will reveal itself. Trial will reveal a soul because of the inherent limits built into a tribulation. Back to sending evil away. Articulating truth drives evil away. This is a powerful intervention for the possessed, even if you can't start by agreeing to something truthful. E, you are a daughter of God, true? Yes, ma'am. Now that was, you guys, that was real quick, the pattern. Now this is the principle. Following up on articulating a desire for evil to leave with a demonstration of obedience is powerful. Demonstrating a willingness to follow truth is a pattern the Savior used in his interactions. Really, Thor? Go sell all you have and follow me. Oh my gosh. Rye, could you possibly help me, please? Someone's going to help me. I guess we're going to find out. Maybe not. All right, hold on, you guys. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. All right, I'm back. Here we go. Sorry about that. Okay. My apologies. Go sell all you have and follow me. Go and sin no more. Go and wash 7 times. I already let them out. Go and tell no one. Go and tell the city. Go and preach my gospel. Go and feed my sheep. If you can engage a weak-minded soul in a physically activity obedience, you can begin to break the bond Satan made with the weak. Physically stop the acting out behaviors and begin physically doing good. Farm work, lifting boxes, exerting energy, exercises, jump rope, milking cows, weeding a garden, digging trenches. Satan cannot be where there is good. Begin doing and sweating for good. Heavy physical intensity capture your attention. The problem for I guess it was for E and R, is the hard labor is all for the sake of lifting, does not have meaning or do good. We need property where a ranch can be built. Good can be done. Outcomes of prosperous chores can be seen, experienced, and felt. And the kids need a good kick from the horse and cactus to run into. She said the kids need a kick from the horse and a cactus to run into. They need natural outcomes. Now, this is the thing. When we watch the videos in a minute, we're going to see that one of the things that Ruby says often is the natural, like these are your natural outcomes. This is the natural consequences of your behavior. So this literally fits right into how she articulates already. So I asked R, what was he thinking about since he was sitting in the shade? And he had what he wanted. R answered, what I want. Me, what do you want? R, more different foods and a soft bed. Me, why don't you ask Satan? Do you think Satan will give you these things? R, no. Me, why not? R, because he doesn't have the power. Me, why would you serve a God who has no power to give you your desires? Dumb. R was silent. E had another episode with demons. She gives herself to them. She agreed to stop being deceptive with her facial expressions and crying and whining. Whining is the devil's voice. Whining is always a demon. E, hurt facial expressions, blame me for her misery. It is E at the center of her misery. Her face is deceptive. After E did stairs, she sat on the park bench looking at the mountain view. She was told to sit and be still and eat her dinner. Carrots, hummus, grilled cheese, water. E, in a power play, brought her empty plate to the door and then removed her sun hat. And then there's a blacked out section. I'm dying to know what they wrote there. E woke up. I reminded her that if she whined, cried, or squinted her eyes at me or soured her face, I would be buzzing her hair. If she's going to act sick, I'm just going to find a spot where I could stop. If she's going to act sick, she can look sick. She agreed with a smile. I told her because she didn't listen the night before, she would do 2 sets of boxes stairs with a 5-minute break. She did the first set easily and agreeably. After 5 minutes of rest, she began whimpering. When she got to the bottom stair, she slipped and dropped the box. I put her in the dog wash and shaved her head. Then back to the boxes, I told E. Wow. She says Eve refuses to work, screams, has hair shaved as a punishment. Wow. I feel like I have to hear what E says. Yes, ma'am, with tears. Me. It's heavier than boxes, right? Yes, ma'am. Me. E, I can help you find relief. You have told so many lies about me that you refuse to be obedient. Why would you keep being buddies with Satan? He says, I don't want to work. Me? Don't you see it's because you follow Satan that you keep doing boxes? If you were humble, you would be inside making pancakes with Julie and me. E agreed to sit on the park bench and think about her choices. I made it very clear. If she were to move, get up, fidget, talk, take her hat off, she would go back to work. I agreed eagerly. She promised to be obedient. After an hour on the bench, Eve began moving and looking around. I pulled her into the house and gave her more boxes. Not to R, me. You like sleeping on the hard ground. I slept in a soft bed. R, I slept really well. Me, you are mean. Do you enjoy being mean? R says, yes, ma'am. Me, do you expect me to feed you? R says, yes. Me, I get B and G over him. I will feed R. I will not feed a demon. So I will check on you in a bit, and if you want food, then be prepared to tell the truth about your behaviors. Tell the truth of who I am. An hour later, me, are you ready? R, no, ma'am. Me, so you would rather have no food and worship the devil? R, yes, ma'am. E does 1 set of books decently. I'm just going to finish the page. 10-minute break. E, upset to do boxes, gets them done. Sits on a park bench 1 minute and then picks Jody's blossoms off the plant. Defiant, more boxes. She refuses, goes to sleep on the basement floor. R, stand up. Stop picking your nose. The kids both pick their noses until they plead. Distraction. Huh, me? You happy? R, no. Me? Following Satan doesn't make you happy. Shocker. So Satan can't feed you. Who's supposed to feed you? R says God. And then she says me. R says Christ. She says this is a game you play. Who brings you food? He says you. She says you want to leave the demons. R says I don't want to be humble. And then she says, I told R I wanted to give him dinner with chicken. He needs to acknowledge his behavior. He tells me he's missing his opportunity to repent. This is not acknowledging his behaviors. I tell R he's treating me and Jody the way he believes he really deserves to be treated. I bring him dinner of a brownie, beans, lentils, and water. He takes the bowl and begins eating. I say, no, thank you. You are going to acknowledge the woman you've been abusing just brought you dinner. He says, well, I would say thank you, but I wouldn't really mean it. She says, with that, I reached down and grabbed his dinner and water and said, wow, wow. R tried going back on what he said with some explanation, and I stopped him. I will not talk with a demon. Your soul is damned, and I will not hear your damnable words. Straight to bed. I don't know why I can't stop reading this. All right, let me stop reading this. So we ended on 9 of 19. We're like halfway through. But I want to write that down somewhere so that I don't do it again by accident. And sit down. Yes. Thank you so much. Yay, you guys. Thank you. And hopefully that didn't like hurt anybody's ears because I changed the volume. There you go. I didn't have it on all chat. I had it on not all of them. So you guys, wait, let me see something. The video of the female cop with E-Girl was so sad. Yes, it's much better. That's good to know. Thank you. Okay, let me see. I'm going to pull up. Oh, wait, I want to stop this so that I don't pull up. I didn't realize that when I was showing this at first that it showed the email behind it, and that's not what I was trying to do. So let me pull it down from here before I switch over. So I'm going to hide it on the stream. Hey, you guys. Oh my gosh, look at all the people in here. Hey, come on in. Yes. Okay, so let's watch some videos here, and let's see. Oh, Wendy's here. Look, Travis. What's up, Travis? Travis, you are so loyal. You all are. Diane's here. Who else? We have all of our crazies are here, including me, the queen of the crazies. And again, we only say that because somebody called us crazies. So we're just going to own it. So Woman's Warrior says, cuff you, I didn't know that she was abusive before Jody. So they both just groomed the husband then, or did I get that wrong too? So this is what I think. I don't know what the thing was right before this, but we're going to see. So I'll show you videos of her when she does 8 Passengers, which is just her. So before Jody. Then she meets Jody. And let me tell you what's so interesting about this, you guys. And again, this is allegedly my opinion, you know, all the things. But is this where Dr. John lives by any chance? And I'm just asking, like I'm being genuinely, where do they live anywhere near this? Would Jody and John have similar patients? And again, I'm just asking. I'm not like insinuating anything. I'm genuinely asking. And let me tell you why. Why, one, I believe, and this is just my opinion, and I don't know if Crush is here, but if she is, this would be interesting to see what she had to say. But I'm wondering, do you guys think that Jody, that because she was Mormon and worked with the Mormon church, that they were able to not give or not refer people to others who maybe weren't working for the church type thing, or under the church, if you will? So I'm wondering how that worked. Hi, Lisa. Hi, wise woman. I'm wondering how that worked, you guys. And the reason I asked too is because I noticed, and again, just in my opinion, I noticed some similarities in the thought process, and but there's so many things that aren't similar, right? But I do notice some similarities. One of the big similarities I noticed is that because they both have degrees, and again, this could be with me too being said, so I'm not even like talking bad about either one right now. But with that comes a big responsibility. So I know that you guys, not all of you, but that most of you trust what it is that I say. So most of you aren't going to question a lot of the things. That to me makes it that much more of a responsibility to make sure that I represent you in a way that I would want to be represented by someone, right? So I recognize that, and that means a lot to me. So I make sure that I I'm human. Am I going to make mistakes? Absolutely. But I don't ever try to use my position as a way to manipulate behavior. With that being said, Jody did, right? So, and Jody's niece, or yeah, it's her niece, right? Did anybody ever see the video of Jody's niece? She comes out right after Jody gets arrested. A beautiful, beautiful, they come out, now that I remember, they come out after and they tell us all about how she was like, they went to Jody's house to stay, like her family, and that she was like a bad kid. So Jody told her parents to like leave her there with her type thing, and they did. And she said she doesn't think that the parents like were like realized that they were doing anything that would like cause any type of harm, but it did. And she to this day deals with post-traumatic stress disorder from the things that she witnessed and experienced herself under Jody's care. Now, I do know that Jody has her own children. I'm not sure how old they are. I'm very familiar with this case. Oh, really, Ella? My Dell and I were thinking they were unglued when we were a perfect family on a website. Little did we know how it would end up. Absolutely. I don't know if you watched Dr. Decoder's last two videos on. I did. And I agree. I didn't watch those with the Reiners. And I actually feel the need to do it separate, like to do it myself. So even if we watch a few videos here, I could always wrap this one up and then come back on. I don't have work tomorrow and I'm good. I don't feel like exhausted. But I actually wouldn't mind looking into that because I was quite like, what the? I saw a lot of the same things that we usually see. And again, I'm only bringing this up here too because I think we see the same thing in this type of situation too, where people project their own stuff. She was tortured by Jody. Yes. Yes. But you guys, what do you guys think? So you guys tell me because I'm here for you. Would you rather, let's do this, put a 1 in chat if after we watch a video or like a few videos, and again, these are short videos, they're like clips of Ruby and the kids. So after we do that, do you guys want to stay on this and I go back to reading? So put a 1 in chat if you want to stay on this after that, or put a 2 in chat if you want me to switch over to Hidden True Crime. So 1 for Ruby, 2 for me, after we do the video part, end this, and then pick up with Hidden True Crime. So let me know. Woman's Warrior says, Dr. Vona, I understand. Oh, wait, it went away. There we go. I understand what you were saying. When you hear from professionals, we tend not to question what they are telling us from expertise, which is a huge responsibility. Yes, exactly, right? So Women's Warrior, imagine if you then are following somebody for however long, and then you find something or hear something, see something that is like a little concerning, right? Then it makes you like wonder, were there other concerning things that I just didn't notice before? Oh my God, you guys are like 2 it up. All right, so far we have a few, wait, let me see what I have here. We have 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Oh my God, you guys, a few 1s and 2s. Somebody said Kat said 1, 2, 2, 1, LOL. I love you, you're funny. Kat, I'm like having PTSD when I see your name. I'm like, is that Kitty Cat? I got to go to bed just after midnight for me. Good night, Jane. Oh, thank you. We have a gift of 5 memberships. Thank you, Shirley. Shirley, now I lowered it and we don't hear it. So, dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's see who we have. We have Susie Q, Mary Elizabeth. I think it just did it again for a second time. I apologize. I have to fix that. So here we go. Oh no, it was somebody else. Marvelous has become a member. Oh, wait, and then we have Mary. Everybody goes through all of them and tell us about them. Wait, let's see. We'll find out in a second. That was weird. Is it going to like do it 5 times? So wait, we have Susie, Mary Elizabeth. I must have it on to where it does it every time. It must have asked me, like, do you want to acknowledge every time it does it? And I must have been like, yeah. So maybe I lower or like shorten it a little bit. I'll figure it out for next time, you guys. Just bear with me. I try. So was that 5 times? I know that the minute I say something, it's going to be dun, 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 dun. Thank you. You guys have no idea how much you guys mean to me. Shirley, you are a queen. Thank you, Shirley. And if you're Susie, Mary Elizabeth, Lisa Taylor, Mama G, or Swiss Miss, I said Swiss Miss. Swiss, or Miss Swiss. Oh my gosh, Miss Swiss. Hopefully everybody thanks Miss Shirley. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, queen. Thank you. We don't claim the devilish duo, Frankie and Hildebrand, right? Seriously. So let me see. So I think we have a lot of 2s in here. So let me, I'm going to do this. I can't handle, Casey can't handle it today. It's been a long day. I guess Ruby's just as bad, though. I'll watch whatever. Oh, I love you guys. Good night, Wendy. We have a good night here. I should change my name to not Kitty Cat. No, you don't have to do that. I'm literally I joke around. Please, you could tell me that when you see my name, you think of Dr. John, and I'll laugh with you guys. Oh, I have my finger right in front of the screen. My bad. What was that? What was what? I don't know. So, all right, let's see. Let me show something, and then I could be reading this while we do that. So let me go back here and see if Amazing Cuff You, which I'm sure she did, sent us a video to watch. And yes, so let's see. We're going to choose. Are any of these a video or are these? Oh, yeah, we have one. Hold on. Okay, so show this on stream.
The Ruby, Frankie, and Jody Hildebrandt case are Ruby's own journal entries. These handwritten accounts, revealed as part of the evidence, offer a chilling and direct look into Ruby's mindset and the disturbing justifications she recorded for her actions. The following journal excerpt from July 11th, 2023 offers a glimpse of the brutal discipline tactics that Ruby and Jody implemented.
July 11th, 2023. Big day for evil. E manipulates me. She won't scream when Jody is around, but with me...
So you guys, we heard this part. Just watch how like she acts things out. But in the meantime, I'm going to pull up one on the side that I also want you guys to see.
All night, E screamed, cried, and would hit her head on the floor. Today, Jody confronted her. E admits to putting on a show for her mother. E says she wants to be pitiful. R was told to stay in the sun with his sun hat. He is defiant, saying no. I tell him a couple more times. R, or I should say his demon, stays in the shade. I push R into the sun. R comes back. I come back with a cactus poker. When I poke his back to get in the sun,
this is what
R
we
doesn't
heard,
even
so
flinch.
I don't want you guys to be like we heard.
I poke him on the neck. He is in a trance.
Instead, this is what I'm going to do. I found another. We're going to look at Let's look at 8. Let's look at the worst moments. I just want to make sure it's not the one that we did one last time. I just want to make sure it's not the same one. Okay, here we go. Somebody wrote their family channel is insane. Oh, God. It really is, though. All right, let's see.
$16? My mother gut tells me that we've got some lying and stealing going on. But
I'm not lying. It's not a lying day. It's a forgiving day. She actually gave me that money.
okay.
You guys, that was 8, and this is the 2 middle daughters.
This is the money that Eve said that you gave to her. Did you give her this?
Yeah.
You did? Why did you give her that? You can tell me.
So this is what it used to look like. Isn't that the worst logo you've ever seen? I'm like, really? They made so much money. I'm like, and that's what you came up with? And this is from, I should have said who this was from. Let me apologize. So this is, look, we're going to subscribe and like, because that's what you do. And this is, it's called 8 Passengers. Look at that. Paid to Keep a Secret is the name of the video. So everybody go subscribe, like, do all the things.
Your world, why not? I know you can hear me. I know you can hear me. I know you can hear me.
I've never heard this.
It sounds sad. Can you clean up my room?
Oh.
You're my best friend. I don't want to clean it up by myself.
Oh my God. that was-
Passengers. Good morning. Witch hazel. The secret that my sister Julie taught me. She says it helps lipstick stay on and from getting all clumpy and like cracky.
I'm just not going to say the obvious. Witch hazel.
You know, your winter lips. I sent Eve to her room this morning and I said, you're not leaving the room until it gets clean. How many times have we done a video on
We're
this?
going to fast forward her a little bit. Not fast
It's
forward.
like half the channel's content, I feel like some days. The time that she has spent self-loathing is probably twice the amount of time it would have taken to actually clean up the room. Okay, do you want to know what my favorite lipstick is right now? And I've tried all of them.
There are so many lipsticks in here.
My favorite lipsticks are probably some of the cheapest ones. I think they work the best. The Maybelline 24 Hour, I got it in so many different colors. It is amazing, and it's like $7. I tried getting the Stila one. These are like $26. Not near as good. These are amazing.
She's not lying, you guys. I have MAC lipstick that my kids bought me because I used to wear it all the time. It was like $20. And my lip stain, the Maybelline Joan from CVS, that was like $10. Works so much better. Shh.
I'm gonna finish getting my makeup on and then maybe I can go give her a little pep talk or something. Chad is home and he's got a list of chores around the house that he's gonna do. And me? I'm gonna go to lunch.
Oh,
Evie, I want to talk to you. Can I talk to you for a second?
I'm not filming.
All right, let's turn the camera off.
absolutely. So she said turn the camera off, but then turns it back on.
More dollars. And Poopsie surprise, they come with the toilet so it won't get everywhere. How many is this? How
You,
many is
you tell me why she gave this money to you.
I do not remember.
I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to listen very carefully. Very carefully. Close your mouth. I am not mad at you,
She is so cute. Though.
and you're not in trouble if you tell me the truth. But I suspect you took this money.
No, she gave it to me.
I am going to ask her when she gets home.
No, I promise.
Okay, all right, all right.
This is like a little girl right here, you guys. I don't know if like Ruby even realizes it, but it like people don't lie. I mean, people lie, obviously, right? But it's actually harder to lie than it is to tell the truth. Our brains, most of our brains aren't wired to just lie. So something tells me that this little kid is being honest.
You promise?
I'm still gonna ask her when she gets home.
Pinky promise.
If it's true, if she gave you that money and she gave you $10 the other day, she's a saint.
Yeah, she's cursed.
But if she didn't, then it means you're being selfish and you stole money and you're lying about it. That's like 3 bad things right there.
I promise I didn't.
So Julie paid Eve $10 the other day to bug off. Eve was being noisy in the room and Julie was really cranky and Eve wouldn't leave her alone. So Julie was like, I'll give you $10 if you leave. So Eve took the money and left her alone.
I would have
Eve
too.
took the money to the toy store and bought a toy. And now the next day she just happens to have $16.
And this quarter.
There's $16 here.
And a quarter.
And a quarter.
My mother gut tells me this that we've got some lying and stealing going on.
Oh my
But
God.
I'm going to confirm
No, it's
it.
not stealing. It's giving.
Keep in mind, Sherry and Chad went through this exact same
Oh
thing.
my God.
Stealing and lying. It's I don't remember.
Wow, you guys. I've never seen this video. This is horrifying. Stealing and lying. Like, I bet you Sherry and Chad didn't steal and lie either. And if they did, why are you then projecting it onto the younger kid? It's almost as if she's teaching the younger kid that little kids steal and lie. Like, you might as well steal and lie. Everybody does it.
Abby going through it. Like, I think if there ever was an angel child on this earth, it would be Abby, which actually makes me a little worried for when she's a teenager and starts dating, because she needs to stand up and be able to say no and not worry about hurting someone else's feelings. So Abby, I've got my own worries with her. She's got her own things that she's going to need to work on that are just different.
Mommy,
But
I'm
I'm
not
telling you.
lying. It's not a lying day. It's a forgiving day.
Are there lying days?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not going to be today.
This is the funniest conversation I've had in a long time. Okay, all right. Well, today's not a lying day, you guys. So if you're out there lying,
No,
you missed the memo.
it's a giving day.
It's a giving day, a forgiving day.
No, a giving
Sure,
day where
yeah.
people give things to other people.
Okay. So I'm just saying, like, even Julie went through some lying and stealing. Like, it's just kids do that. I did it. I remember going through phases
bingo.
like that in my
Nope.
sibling.
Bingo. I always talk about projection. She just projected her and childhood experiences onto the kids. Thor needs to make himself seen right now. Thor, there's no one there, Thor. It's 12:30, you guys. Isn't this when Thor usually acts up? Thor! Oh my God. He's barking at nothing. I apologize. Are you done, Thor? Thor! 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 Thor, go get Dad. Hurry up, go get Dad. Go ahead, go get some dad loving. He's like confused. He doesn't know if he wants to go up and like, go ahead, Thor, go get Dad. He doesn't care. He's just going to look out the window and bark at people because he knows that I'm still on the computer and he's just like that.
That wasn't me. I'm not doing it yet. She actually gave me that money.
Okay. Then we need to get to the bottom of why she gave you so much money.
Yeah,
That's $26 in 2 days to a 5-year-old.
And I'm not going to lose it.
It's wrong. She should not be giving you all that money. That's more money than she made in her bracelet making company. So this is her bracelet making company. Julie's bracelet office. Don't come in, warning. And then this is her little workshop. She's got her desk right here. And then she's got a homemade garbage can she's made out of paper. She keeps it neat and tidy. And then over here is her shop. So right here she's got like size 1, size 2. She's got different sizes and different prices depending on the sizes. It looks like $1 for the bigger ones and 75 cents for the smaller ones. We'll get to the bottom of it when she gets home. That's all I'm saying.
Give me back the money.
No, I'll give it back to you
Wow.
once I confirm with Julie
She's still saying, I think you're lying to me.
that she actually gave it to you. And then I'm going to tell Julie she has to take it back. Because there's no
wow.
good reason on earth she should give you $16 the day after she already gave you 10. Get this room finished picking up. You got a good start. You got a lot of things off the ground, but you've got more. Finish up. I'm going to come back and check on it, all right? All right. This is disgusting. And I thought I had a clean house.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't it?
I hate you.
Gross. Glad you're here cleaning, Chad.
I'm
But I'm not.
Me.
Oh my gosh, you guys, she is just too much. Oh, she's making fried hot dogs. You just throw them in the pan and they're banging.
For lunch, I am making one of the Leroy's favorite breakfasts. So Kesley likes this, Chad. So you gotta give it a try. I even wrote it down. They like the scrambled eggs with hot dogs or ham and refried beans. They said it has to.
Okay, I don't do all that. I would do the hot dogs and the eggs, but that's about it. All right, let's go forward a little.
How this goes, but it sounds really yummy with a lot of protein in it, so it should keep us full till dinner. Except I am still going out to lunch, actually with Shanna this afternoon, and I'm leaving Chad home to babysit.
Is this the same time she was going out to lunch last time, or is that a different video? I think it's the same one.
Because I am getting out of the house. Because I'm being kind to myself today. And I'm being patient with myself. Did you get your bedroom done? Really? Your bed? Everything? I'm gonna go check it. I'm gonna go check
It's
it.
gonna be like, oh no, stop.
Did she do a good job?
Yeah.
Yes!
Wow.
No, those are your sisters.
Look, there's so many.
It's pretty good. They've got their little things going here. Julie's gonna have to clear this. Nothing.
Okay, so she hid the key from me.
Get out of there.
No, she hid the key from me, and that is all her Oreos.
I just opened that. There's nothing in it.
What?
I just opened it.
She lied to me. All her Oreos.
She's getting smart now. She's giving you decoys. There's nothing in there except fabric. All right, let's see how you.
Wait, it doesn't go in it.
So you take your tortilla.
Yeah.
And you can kind of
what is it?
grab this,
Yeah.
dip it, and eat it.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
Oh yeah, I don't know about all that.
Chad doesn't know how to eat. Okay, but how does it taste?
It's really good.
You like that? I had it yesterday and I loved it.
Oh, there you go. That's better.
It's a lot easier.
All right, Kesley, how do you eat your breakfast? Do you roll it or do you eat it separately and mix it with a fork?
Guys, how would you eat it? Wouldn't you roll it? I mean, not, yeah, would you, yeah, I know, gutter snipe. I'm like, kind of like, what the hell is happening to?
No! No, put it away. You can't use my good vacuum. No, you can't. This is not a shop vac. Chad, this is a very, very nice, expensive.
I know, and once it's, and then
The answer is no. Sweep it up. Scoop it up.
Sweeping that up. It's so much easier just to vacuum. Where's the other, like, really
The shop vac, you're welcome to. The shop vac is outside in the shed in the backyard.
Probably very routine, like,
It might be really hard to get to, but please do not use this. Here, put this away.
it's so even.
No.
Like,
I know it is. That's why we have a shop vac. You're not using this vacuum.
See, that part was normal, right? Like, that wasn't, you know what I mean? So it's like, whatever. But the other part turned your way.
How are you? How's your mouth feeling? Give us an update on the braces. Everything good?
Everything's great. Did you bring food?
No, I'm sorry.
You never bring food.
Can I ask you a question?
What?
Did you give Eve $16 yesterday?
$16?
Okay, so you gave her $10 a couple days ago to leave you alone, right? To bug off?
Yeah.
That's okay. You don't have to be embarrassed by that. You got what you wanted, so it was money well spent. This is the money that Eve said that you gave to her. Did you give her this?
Yeah.
You did?
Mom, I don't care.
Why did you give her that? No, I'm not mad at you. I'm just trying to figure out who's stealing and who's being way too generous. Like, why did you give her all that money? To leave you alone? You can tell me.
Okay, so why is she doing this on camera? And does she have the camera like in this kid's face? Like, what is happening? Why would she do this on camera? And the kid doesn't know how to react. Like, you could clearly tell that this kid doesn't know if she's going to be in trouble or not. And that means that that's because she's probably had those situations where she has gotten mad before and other situations where she hasn't gotten mad before, which is why Julie, I think her name is feeling apprehensive right now to tell.
Was it to leave you alone?
Yeah, she looks terrified.
Why did you give it to her? And why did you just say no? You said you didn't give it to her. You're embarrassed that you gave it to her?
Mommy.
Oh, and that's the little boy that's
Chad! Oh my gosh!
Liar.
Chad made Audrey's little cookies. These are so cute.
after school.
Do we need your fork to smash them down?
No, there's snickerdoodle. No, there's snickerdoodle.
Okay, those are really good. Did you help your brother while I was gone?
No.
Julie told me
No.
that she did give you that money.
Abby!
So give
Come look at this. Hurry.
So give it back.
I gotta find out though why she gave it to you. She wouldn't answer me.
No, so let's go
Julie.
later again.
Were you just trying to be a good sister? Mm-hmm. You seem embarrassed by me bringing this up.
Yeah, 'cause you're doing it on camera. In front of millions of people. And did you guys just see that? Look at her eyes. Look at this kid's eyes. Watch this.
You seem embarrassed by me bringing this up.
Watch. Did you see what she just
She's
did?
not wearing pants.
Oh, she's not.
No one
wearing
can see it.
pants. That's
See?
even worse.
Tell me why you gave her that money.
Oh my God. So she's not wearing pants and she still went in there?
So that she can tell me a secret.
Oh, that's crazy. Wow, you guys. What is wrong with her? Like, talk about exploitation. She's like exploiting all the way. That was crazy. I did not love that. Let's see. Mind games with kids on camera. Absolutely. Wait, Paul Harvey? Wait, remind me. 7 sons, 7 sons. Does that mean you have 7 sons? Could you imagine if you did? So, okay, you guys. So should we do what we said? The scene when Cherry was super sick and needed to go to the emergency room. That was horrible. You know what was another sick one, I thought? When Eve forgets to bring her lunch and Ruby tells the camera, she's like, and they better not. Nobody better give her food. I was like, she's 6. Like, what is wrong with you? Yes, the standards for fitting in. Yes. Yep. When here are so intense. Absolutely. What's up? You're a wise woman. It reminds me of when my perp would be okay with something one day and not another day. Exactly. It causes an anxious attachment. And I know I always go back to attachment, but it's the truth. It causes anxious attachment and even fearful attachment. So being in a baby. Yes. Thank you, Cuff You. You are the best. You are the best. Thank you. Cuff You says Lauren has a ton of RF videos on HTC. Oh wait, I had to think of what RF was. I was like, wait, what's happening? Are we talking about the Reiner? Wait, what's RF videos? Why don't I know what RF is? Am I having an old moment? But you guys, so this is what we'll do. Since you all told me, oh, Ruby Frankie. Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh, there is. I see what you're putting out, Cuff You. 2 birds with 1 stone. You are so smart. You guys, so Cuff You's thinking, I guess, that, not I guess, I'm like saying what she's thinking, but I think I know what she's thinking here. Instead of necessarily like hanging up and then starting a new stream, we can go into the stream by looking at a Lauren video on Ruby Frankie. You are so smart. I just have to find the hidden true crime one. Because that didn't work. All right, hold on, look at it. And then If we want, we could always then pivot into John, depending on what time it is, like another video. But we'll do one with John, one Ruby Frankie, if I could find one. Would it be easier if I just go to Hidden True Crimes? Wait, maybe if I Google it. That might work. But yeah, you guys tell me what you want to. Because I could just, I guess, make it all one thing. Why not? All right, let's see. Videos. All right. How do I make sure that this is... Oh, duh. Oh my God, Cuffy, you're so right. Cuffy's like, just go to Hidden True Crime. Go to their thing and then go to their playlist that says Ruby Frankie. You guys, Trady Stupid is my nickname, I promise. I'm extremely smart, and then you would think, like, just go to the thing and look at the playlist that says Ruby Frankie. Duh. All right, let's see. And then I do want to see the thing with Nick Reiner. I feel like, and if, we'll see how late it gets, but I was like, what is happening? Like, talk about projection, in my opinion, allegedly. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, what is happening? Why can't I find Ruby Frankie? I see a lot of J-Bell. I don't see Ruby Frankie, Cuffio. I don't know why. Where is it? I'm sure I'm just missing it. I hate how she calls Michael Vaughn Monkey Vaughn. I don't like when she does it. I feel like that's like something like, oh, I found it. I feel like, like when, like, you have like an in with somebody, I don't know. I just feel like it's very, icky. All right, let me share this with you guys, and then we'll see which one we watch. But that was a great idea, Cuffy. You're so smart. This is why you are super mod. Okay, let's see. All right, so we have Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Frankie with Criminal Psychologist. That might be the one, you guys. Hold on, let me see. Let me just browse real quick. Oh, Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt, Forensic Psychologist, shows what's hidden. So far, these are the two that I'm interested in. Boy Scout cover-up. What? I have to watch that another time. All right, let's see. So they're the two that are in the lead. I think they're the two we're going to choose from. Oh my God, how many did she do? All right, they're the two we're going to choose from, you guys. So we're going to put a 1. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to do Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Frankie, or a 2 if we should do, where is it? Oh my God. Where the heck did it go? The second one was Jody and Jody Hildebrandt. Wait, where is it? It was right here. Oh, here it is. Duh. All right, so put a 1 in chat if you want Devil in the Family. Put a 2 in chat if you want Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt, Forensic Psychologist, shows what's hidden. So 1 for Devil in the Family, 2 for Know What's Hidden with Forensic Psychologist. And let's see which one we do. I feel like we need to do like a drum roll. Drum roll. Oh no, that's not a drum roll. Neither was that. Well, that wasn't what I was looking for. Okay, so we have 3 1s and 2 2s. Anybody else? 4 1s, 2 2s. We'll keep it open for a couple more seconds. We have a 1 and a 2. I love you. That's so funny. Run, Sunny, now. That's a cool name. All right, so let's do one. We'll just start right here. Let's just do that. Let's do it. So this is, Lucy, your vote always counts, Lucy. Because you might watch it later, who knows? But if I don't talk to you, Lucy, thank you so much for coming. What song is she singing? Who's singing? Did you guys hear my song that I made for the show in the beginning? Disclaimer, I have not watched these, neither have I. But that's the best kind, right? When you don't watch it. Oh, Adam Steele. Oh, I know what you're talking about, Seven Son. I do. That it's crazy, some of the things, right? And even with Jodi's husband, like I definitely think that he got off like easy. Like I feel like he should have, in my opinion, he should have done, I don't know, but that's a different story for a different day. But I know that him and the son, were continuing to go to Jodi for therapy. And I believe they made Chad like pay for it himself or whatever. I don't know. It was a lot. All right, you guys, so this is Hidden True Crime. You can go subscribe or do your thing if you want. This is for educational purposes. It is based on my understanding of human behavior and over 20 years experience and a whole hell of a lot of education. And I teach college and university. I teach many psychology classes and have been for 22 years. So with that being said, this is all alleged and just in my opinion, like I said 1,000 times, in case anybody wants to come for me after. Kitty cat, meow.
Hello. A Friday night live with our hidden gems. And who else has watched the new Hulu documentary, Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Frankie? Because John and I sure did last night. We watched all 3 episodes. It's a docuseries. And wow, we've been covering this case since the beginning. A never before seen home video.
Oh God, come on.
Finally, wildest moment for me is actually seeing these alleged trances that we've heard about. Trances. Yes, I'll say trance with a quote symbol because I'll give you a little, I think they're complete manipulation. But we'll ask Dr. John because we have a psychologist here with us. My co-host, Hidden True Crimes co-host, Dr. John Matthias, a criminal and forensic psychologist. And you have been assessing Jodi Hildebrandt and Ruby Frankie from the very beginning, helping us process how this happened, who is who, why this happened. And of course, because of the Frankie family, Kevin coming forward, the children, the adult children coming forward. And by adult children, I mean Sherry and Chad. We were able to get... we're going to get into a... And many of you don't know this. We've been doing this since we were dating because we're not just co-hosts for those new to Hidden True Crime. We're also married. And John, I'll have to be honest. This is when I knew I was sold on you. Was when we
let's hear
we were dating.
Sold like I was marketing you. I was marketing myself.
Right, with like the checklist that Ruby had. John had a check. Yeah. I had a checklist like Ruby in my closet. We'll get into that.
Let's clarify. Ruby didn't have a checklist. She had like a spreadsheet with colors, and she had what I call the husband spreadsheet. I mean,
color coded. Yeah.
It was extensive color coding and like, I don't know, there were at least on one axis, she had all these qualities. So she had like, I lost count. Like they didn't show it that long, but she had like 30 plus qualities at least. And then on the,
has anybody seen this? I haven't seen it. The book or whatever with the checklist for the husband.
The horizontal axis, they had different boxes for all the suitors or all the boyfriends that she was dating.
I agree.
There were so many.
She's like Lily.
That's what surprised me. I thought maybe like 3 or 4. No, there were like 20 plus people, suitors that were interested in her. Like the husband spreadsheet. That was an amazing part of the documentary, and they actually had it somehow. I don't know, Kevin or Ruby, somebody filmed that at some point years ago.
Yeah, I did not have
a wise woman. I missed the first part, but I just wanted to tell you, you said you missed the idea of having a family to connect with and lean on. That was one of the most insightful comments I've read in a while. The fact that you know that it's not them and that it's the idea of what they represented just shows how much insight you have. So good for you.
Color coded spreadsheet hanging in my closet when I was dating you, but
Oh gosh,
I had hopes and dreams. But if I had a color coded spreadsheet on it, it would be psychologist can psychoanalyze criminals with me, can psychoanalyze reality television shows with me, using the pause button and discussing and answering all my questions. And then I would have probably wanted you to have like a British accent, which you don't have, but here we are. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so I'm sure this is a little bit like tongue in cheek, where like, you know, she's like kidding a little bit, but could you imagine? She's like, the first thing I wanted was a psychologist. The second was a psychologist that could help me with my career. The third one was a psychologist that could help me understand reality television. Like, what? Yeah, wouldn't you love to be like a fly on the wall?
Yeah,
I do like that British accent, but it's okay.
You can't get everything on that spreadsheet,
Yeah,
and I think even
Chicago accent. Chicago accent instead.
Even Kevin recognized that there were limitations to the spreadsheet. But this is an interesting part for those who watched it. Kevin found this spreadsheet, this colored spreadsheet, right? And he studied it. He said he took pictures of it. He studied it. He memorized it. He said he worked harder on knowing the spreadsheet than he did at school. And obviously it paid off for him because he ended up marrying her in the year 2000. But how interesting is that? Like, do you want to, if you're going to marry someone, do you try to conform to all the qualities they're looking for? Like that says a lot about Kevin. Like, Kevin.
Don't ever do that, just so you know. So I also have a specialization in marriage and family therapy, like John, and he always talks about like about Bowennian theory and stuff, which I totally agree with. So I know that we have similar ideas about, and not in specific cases, but about family systems in general, like theory wise. So I did want to say that, but he was just talking about whether you conform or not. Don't ever, and don't ever want, like, not only should you never conform, don't ever want someone else to conform to what you want, because I promise you, you always revert back to your true self. So you can think about it. Think about times where you get into an argument with somebody and you're like, I want you to change, and then they change for 3 weeks, and then it goes back to the way it was. And that's because humans, our personalities don't just change. Now, we can change actions or like the way we think about something. Like somebody might say, please, from now on, when this happens, please know that So that would be a thought process. Or something else like, if I do this, please know that So that would be like action based. So absolutely. But when it comes to your personality, no, that doesn't just change. So if you don't ever conform to somebody else, it just never, ever, ever works out.
Kevin is very malleable and very passive, right? And people, that's one question people have been asking me is Kevin brainwashed? One of the arguments for why Kevin wasn't as involved, or when Ruby pushed him out of the home, I've heard from many people saying, well, doesn't Kevin have some culpability? And the answer is, yeah, of course he does. But like, if you look at that spreadsheet, and so many answers lie in that spreadsheet, by the way, you get a better understanding of Kevin. Kevin is someone who he wants to make Ruby happy. He's submissive. He's passive. He's trying to adopt all these qualities in the husband's spreadsheet that he may or may not have, just so that he can win her over. He even says that in the documentary. He says, he said something like, I had to play dirty. Basically what he says is, I manipulated her into falling in love with me and marrying me to some extent. And so,
wow, if that's true, and the husband really said that he used manipulation to get her to marry him, that in itself is so pathological. I can't even tell you. Again, that would just mean that you're changing who you are as a human being now to please her. And in the end, how did that work out? Do you know what I mean? Like, he winds up moving out, and then he doesn't see his kids for a year. Like, when he's in that interview room at first, when they're talking to him, asking him how long it's been since you've seen your children, I was like, what? When he said a year, I was like, even the cops seemed like they were like, wait, what?
This is someone, he says this in the documentary, this is someone who he wants to stay married. He's submissive.
Sorry.
He's going to do whatever he thinks he needs to do to appease Ruby. And I think that goes a long way towards explaining why he didn't stand up or take action, or why he wasn't a little more aggressive in terms of challenging her and challenging.
You guys, it's one thing not to be aggressive. Like, if you want to be like that with you in your relationship, I mean, by all means, it's your life. But when it comes to children, like, the fact that I don't know if he's making excuses here right here for him or not, but in my opinion, 100% he should have inquired about seeing his children. I would have wanted to make sure they were like still alive. And like, why would you ever think it's okay to not talk to your children for a year?
Jody for the kids, and I don't want to put a value judgment on that. I mean, for me, there's a part of me that looks at it and says, well, you know.
Oh, Calissa gets an A+ real quick. I'm sorry, I just paused again. I promise I won't do it again for a minute. Calissa says, I think living in LDS culture primes you to follow the rules and do not question authority. And that's the thing, right? So we have to keep in mind culture and also keep in mind context. So 1,000%, I totally agree with that. And I think that was a great comment.
He might be passive, but these are your kids, right? Like, I don't care how submissive you are, how much you want to please Ruby. You need to take a stand here. You need to protect your kids. And I think that's people's argument. That it's more of a moral argument that no matter how submissive this guy is, from a moral standpoint, he needs to stand up to them and fight for his children. So I think that's where people are really having a hard time with him. But from a psychological standpoint, this is a guy who's very dependent upon her. He's very submissive. He seems like someone who, he even says this, that he tends to be somewhat submissive to more authoritarian figures. Certainly Jody and maybe Ruby to some extent, at least in that family, would fit that description. So
yes, PK Val.
So we started with Kevin. I don't know if that was my intention, but
look how happy Emily looks right there. Emily Flotilla. She looks very happy. But I was just thinking, and PK Vale brings up a good point. That's what I was like trying to get like at the beginning was PK. Let me read your comment first. And the church recommended the therapist. So that's kind of my question. If you came in here after I asked that, my question was, does anybody know if the church affected John's ability to practice? That's it. That's the question. Does anyone know if the church hindered John's ability to practice? That's my question, because I know that they were sending people to Jody, and that they say that there was only a few therapists that were recommended.
Like it or not, we started with Kevin.
We started with Kevin. Well, yeah, no, typically I would hope that, if a young man that if saw a spreadsheet like that in a female's closet, he would see that as a giant red flag, where Kevin's like, I got to take a picture and memorize this. Whatever she wants, I will be. It did explain. It explained Kevin a lot, and it explained Ruby a lot. And you were telling me that was a moment of pausing. You were like, rewind that. Are you kidding?
That was a moment of, I always talk about this idea that sometimes these little things that don't seem that important initially really explain so much. And this is one of those moments in this documentary, this husband spreadsheet that, it's one thing. It's one thing for someone like Ruby or anyone to list some qualities they like in someone, just to kind of remind themselves, I want someone who's kind, right? I want someone who's smart, whatever, it's one thing to kind of have that list and kind of know that list. And I think maybe that's important. It's another thing to have 200 qualities and to start using different color codings and there's an obsessive quality to this spreadsheet. And so I think one thing I took out of that is that if you're trying to understand how this reflects upon Ruby, I think the short answer is that there's something formulaic about that spreadsheet. That this is someone, when you look at that, this is someone who wants easy answers. This is someone who wants a formula that she's gonna put all this data in with all these color codes, and it's gonna spit out this answer. The answer is Kevin, right? Like it's sort of like the joke about I forget the book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There's a question in there about they ask this computer what's the meaning of life, and the computer takes like 10,000 years to figure out the answer, and the answer is something like, I don't remember. People can correct me on this. The answer is something like 31. Right? That it's a joke. That it's absurd because the answer to what's the meaning of life is not going to be a number, right? But that's how Ruby sees the world. That the spreadsheet is going to spit out the correct answer.
Did I put it a little faster? Is it going to be too fast? But I actually agree with this. I just think that he could have made the point by just saying that that Ruby seems like I don't know that it's easy answers, rather than she was probably taught that A plus B equals C, and that mixed with her personality traits, in my opinion, is a recipe for someone that has a spreadsheet for a husband characteristics.
For who her husband should be. It doesn't have anything to do with intuition or emotion, right? It's all formulaic and it's all clear cut. And I think what I took away from this, with Ruby at least, this is someone who wants the world to be a particular way. This is someone who, and you see this in her YouTube in 8 Passengers. This is someone who wants a very curated, perfectionistic, formulaic, reductive view of the world. And those very qualities you see in that spreadsheet. And trying to pick a husband, she's doing the very thing that she's doing on 8 Passengers. Your mic is off.
Some are saying that that's what they learned to do in their LDS when women's growing up.
What the hell did I just say, you guys? Am I not good at what the frig I do? Did you just hear what she said? She said some people in chat are telling us that they learned in the LDS church, sorry, that they learn pretty much what I said. It's learned behavior and it's expectations.
I certainly recall also being taught to make a list again of all my hopes and dreams. Again, you do not have a British accent. I'm dealing with it. Someone suggested I get you some lessons. But I think going to what you just said though, the one takeaway as we continue talking about that and rewinding it is you said it means that Ruby thinks there is a formula for everything, which is, I know what you're saying now, but there are people that want a formula for everything, the right way to do something, that there is a formula and they can fix everything. And she brought up obedience a lot too, and that obedience is love. I think that goes along with wanting a formula. We'll get into that. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up. We'll just start there. That was.
And so even before she's married to Kevin, and even before 8 Passengers, you can start seeing some of these early influences. And that spreadsheet is such a great metaphor for the way Ruby Frankie interprets the world, the way she sees the world, the way she acts in the world, the way she is in the world, her expectations for the world, right? Everything in that spreadsheet becomes translated into her YouTube channel. And that's one of the remarkable things about this documentary is you see that playing out behind the scenes. There's moments where she's really frustrated.
So Ella says, was he excusing his abuse by saying things like, I was just following Ruby's orders? In my opinion, Ella, in my opinion only, allegedly, whatever she says. I do think so, absolutely. So this is the thing. He's not supposed to. He was a college professor, Kevin Frankie, and he literally, I can never forget this. He's at the police station talking to the cops, and the cops are like, your son is emaciated. Like, they couldn't get across more that, like, they're telling him how bad his kid is. And he's like, yeah, I love Ruby. Like, I trust Jody, like, and they're like, dude, like, your son's like emancipated or emaciated. I said, what did I say? Did I say emancipated? Because then I really do need to. I hope I said emaciated because that's what I meant. But Kevin goes, what does that mean? And I, in that moment, was like, could it be that he really doesn't know what that means? What do you guys think? Do you guys think he knew what that meant? In my opinion, I feel like he was asking that because he was trying to delay, almost like a delay tactic, so he could think for another few seconds of what he was going to say. He was okay with the abuse before they met Jody. Lisa, I agree with that, but let me tell you. Oh, you think he was in shock? Okay. Lisa says, except he was okay with the abuse before they met Jody. The thing is, Lisa, I think what happened was, I think that the abuse before Jody came was abusive, but I don't think it was something that she would have like done jail time for. I think when she meets Jody, Jody's position as a psychologist and in the church and being recommended by the church, I think that Jody provided like a strong base for Ruby. I feel like Ruby was looking for that security. So I agree with him here that like Kevin was very passive and stuff. And I feel like Ruby didn't want to be and again, this is just my opinion. In other words, by having somebody like Jody knew what she was doing. Jody was A plus B equals C, right? Even if you look at what we read about the journal, Jody says that this house isn't it's not good for the type of punishment that they're trying to do, and that they need something secluded. So what do you do in that situation? Like everybody would do. You're just going to sell your house and go get a different, or not, I don't even know if she was going to sell her house, but you're just going to go buy a different one somewhere else where it's more secluded with cacti. Like, what? So it was like, like, we're going to figure this out. Like, you go sell your things, you get me your money, I'll get my money, and we're going to go. And she had a plane ticket, like she went out there or whatever to go look at the property. So she was very like A plus B equals C. So I feel like that must have been attractive to Ruby, because Ruby seemed to have to be, and again, that's my opinion allegedly, Ruby had to be the person that does with like the strong one that says all the things. And it was like Kevin just like went with the flow to appease her. But I feel like at times she might not have known exactly like what to do. And he wasn't really helping her with that. Like he wasn't coming up with ideas on his own. So having somebody like Jody come into your life is like a godsend, literally, in her situation, because now she's like, this is a godsend who's going to tell me, and she's a therapist, she's trained, she's going to tell me what to do. And then that's where I think everything goes really, really south. I think Jody then instills even more fear and obsession in Ruby, and in turn, Ruby exacerbates her punishments. I think Ruby even says somewhere that Jody never did the actual punishments, but that she would like come up with them. And I believe that's what I read. And again, that's just allegedly. And if that is what I read, that would just be Ruby's hearsay or whatever. That it would be Ruby's work.
Frustrated with Chad, and she gets frustrated with Sherry a lot. And she'll say to them, there's one moment in the documentary where she says to Chad, fake it. If you're not happy, act happy. Smile. Act like this is important to you. Act right. Just fake it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she did.
She's saying, I want you, Chad, to fit this formula of how the perfect family should work. And by the way, that is something that Kevin talked about a lot. That her ideal, more than anything else, her ideal was to be seen as the perfect mom. This is a quote from Kevin. He said, her ultimate role, quote, her ultimate role is a parent. Her ultimate ambition was to be seen as the perfect mom. And notice too, like, what's interesting about that statement, and again, this is picking up on kind of the minutia here, but this is important, right? What Kevin said, and this, again, the quote is, the goal wasn't to be the perfect mom. He says her goal was to be seen.
Hey, Sweeney.
As the perfect mom. To be seen, right? Think about that.
That's interesting.
Sweeney, you don't even
normally you'd say, my goal is to be the perfect parent. You're not going to say, my goal is to be seen as the perfect parent, which, when I, as a psychologist, when I read between the lines, that's an amazing statement, because this idea of being seen in a certain way is often related to shame. Shame is about how you want people to see you.
Why?
It's about controlling that.
Does he always go back to shame? Does anybody notice that? I feel like I did watch that, what's his name? Docket or detective or something. And he did a really good job. Like he's you know what I mean? He's killing it. I think he's doing great. I hope he sees this and knows that. But anyway, the clips that he showed with the Nick Reiner stuff, I feel like shame was a common theme there too.
Image you have. And so is narcissism, by the way. So shame, many psychologists would argue, and there's research supporting this, that narcissism is a response to shame. That if shame is feeling vulnerable and imperfect and all the things Ruby's trying to avoid, insecure, right? If shame is imperfection, then the response to that is narcissism. It's a way to cover up that shame or to repress that shame.
Okay, the problem with that is that there's a lot more people in the world that feel shame that never turn out to have narcissistic personality, so or even narcissistic traits. However, I see what his logic is here, but I don't know that it's something that you can generalize to the entire population. So, in other words, you might see if you talk about, a narcissistic personality type thing, although, and I'm not saying that you do, I'm saying like what he's saying, I would have to look into it more, but about shame being a big part of it. But you can say, on the other hand, that means if you have shame, that you have narcissism. Does that make sense? And I think that there should have been a distinction here.
That if you can curate this image as being the perfect mom, but you don't feel that way. So this is where I think this is important. I think in many ways, Ruby doesn't feel like the perfect mom. She feels defective in some ways. She doesn't. So all of this is about her trying to override that sense of imperfection with something that presents her as more perfect. And hence the YouTube channel. Kevin says that she started the channel because she wasn't getting enough praise and attention. This is a quote again. Quote, she was not getting enough praise and attention for being a mom. So she created a YouTube channel. Because when that's a typical parental response, right? Like when you feel like you're not being good enough as a parent, let's go create a YouTube channel. Let's create a family vlog.
Well, I also want to point out another aspect to that.
So why would somebody do that? I don't know why he didn't make that connection. But in my opinion, why would somebody create a family vlog? I'm going to answer that in my opinion. Because by creating a family vlog, that would be Ruby's way to get other people in her head. She must have thought that she wasn't getting the attention and the praise, like she said, of being a mom and a wife and all the things she does. So by going and creating a YouTube channel, she was able to get subscribers that praised her and that reminded her that she was a good mom. And then also in doing so, it's not just a talk thing, she's actually recording. So now she can record and show how much nobody helps her and how much she does. So now it's not just people saying like, oh, I bet you do so much. They're literally looking at it. And in turn, and I just thought of this, could they then, we all know how comments can be, but I'm sure then somebody there would shame Kevin for not helping her, right? So if we're talking about shame, that's where I would see it. And that's why that's why I would hypothesize of why she might have created a channel.
In the LDS faith, being a mother is a beautiful thing that is honored and respected, but you don't get to go to an office every day and get accolades and go to award shows and be a CEO. Much of it is hidden and thankless. And so
No, a wise woman, I don't know about that. Let me know about that. The white Andrea Delight.
Yeah, she wanted an audience to say, look at me. I am the best mom. And she didn't know where to get that. And so she got that on YouTube. Because I think that was part of it too, is, if you're supposed to do this and she's going to be the best and the best mom and the grand, like, who cares? It's thankless. It's a thankless job behind the scenes,
But she needed that to.
Did anybody notice that she just listened to what she just said?
If you're supposed to do this and she's going to be the best and the best mom and the grand, like, who cares? It's thankless. It's a thankless job behind the scenes,
But
what did she say? That's how I feel.
It's thankless. It's a thankless job behind the scenes,
But she needed that.
I think she said something, about YouTube. But now I just need to know because that's going to bother me. So just one more time. Sorry.
But she needed
YouTube.
She needed she needed that to cover this sense of defect or imperfection or vulnerability that she was feeling. Like in the end, that's what she was trying to do. And so,
think about how long his pause was right there. I have him on 1.5 speed. That pause was a long ass pause.
So that's kind of the kernel. That's kind of the foundation that drives this narrative. It drives the narrative all the way to the end, where she gets convicted of felony child abuse. But if you're thinking about this in terms of like the criminal mind, that's kind of where it starts. Or I could go back further and say that this idea of perfectionism starts in her family, or maybe even several generations before. I don't know, but certainly there's a therapist in this documentary. His name is Brandon Patrick, and he happened to work with Jody, actually, which is one of the reasons they brought him into the show. But he talks about this idea fairly early on in the first episode. He says that, this is an exact quote, but it's close. He says something to the effect of that people in the communities that Jody and Ruby are residing in, he says they're happy. They're very happy, right? But he says they're happy, but they're happy, but they're stuck in a box. They're stuck in a bubble. It's a culture of perfectionism.
They're stuck
and
in a
people are
crowd.
wanting to look a certain way. They're wanting to be more perfect because the capital for the Mormon Church is Salt Lake City, and they're striving for perfection in order to advance the highest degree of glory for the church.
Swanee, real quick, I just wanted to tell you that and I'm gonna give credit, not credit, but wherever, Anyway, Hidden True Crime, you were saying about how they gifted their memberships, just so everybody knows. YouTube gives creators 10 memberships a month to gift. So if you don't gift them, it kind of just goes to the wait side. So I could see why somebody might gift them. So I just wanted to make sure that I give credit where, I don't know if it's credit's due, but you know what I mean.
That was a very, if it wasn't an exact quote, it was an almost exact quote. He did refer to that. That is what he said at the beginning. He said, I need to be careful what I say.
Right.
And then
I don't
said
think
it.
he was careful enough, by the way. I'm sure he's getting some backlash for that. But
It's important to say what you say. And Springville, Utah, unfortunately, because I have wonderful friends from Springville, and it is a beautiful, beautiful place to raise children. But there has been a lot of, crime coming out of there recently with the Frankies there. Chad Daybell is from there, and others. So it was an interesting thing to note.
What the hell did that mean?
Another thing, though, that you said with that is, I forgot. You said something. I was like, I gotta hit on that. What was it you said? Forgive me, John. What were you saying? Short-term memory loss, guys. I'm like Dory. I was like, I got something to say, and then I
was just talking about the idea of perfectionism and how it applied to what Kevin was saying, that her goal was to be the perfect mom.
I know what it was. You suggested that you don't know enough about Ruby, and could this go back for generations? I do want to say that we have seen, I will speak for myself, from my opinion on the outside, looking in at all of the Frankie sisters who have put their lives online. Unfortunately, that comes with many of us scrutinizing now that their sister is behind bars, but it certainly does seem like perfectionism runs in the family. I know that I was quite shocked that Bonnie was blanket training, and if anything, it does suggest that they value obedience, which Kevin said as much in this.
Do you guys know what blanket training is? Are you kidding me? Does anybody know what the sister's name is? What? Shut up. I can't even. What the heck? I need to look something up real quick. What's the sister's name? Let me show you guys something. Doesn't her sister do her own show? Let me see if I can find it anyway. Isn't it like Bonnie, I think? Oh my God, is it Bonnie? It's coming back to me now. What? Oh my God, Baby Wise? What? OMG. You guys, this is Baby Wise? Look at this kid's face. Look how miserable he is. He's not happy. Oh my God. She looks pretty there, that girl.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a video that's a little bit different than I usually do. Last week I posted a picture of my kids on blanket time, and wow, I had a really big response to that picture. A lot of people wanted to know what blanket time was, why I did it, how I did it, and I thought it was something very worth mentioning because this alone—
You guys, oh my God, this is insane. So we all know Baby Wise from the Shanann Watt stuff, right? She followed that. I know what blanket time is. I don't think I realized that it was that Baby Wise. I'm not surprised that they do blanket time, but this is about teaching your kid self-control, and you keep them on the mat and they're not allowed to get off of their mat or blanket.
Has kept my my sanity.
This is Bonnie, Ruby's sister. And in the thing that we were just watching, they said that Ruby's sister did blanket time. And when I heard that, like, talk about, this is like a perfectionist type thing too. So it's like your kids are like the perfect kids. Look how clean the house is. It's like the perfect house, perfect kids, perfect, like, look, she's got her, look at her makeup. She's got like a full like smoky eye going, and her jewelry, and so she makes it look like it's easy to do the things that Lauren was just saying is a thankless job.
And that is no lie. I read the books Baby Wise and I follow them. And in the book, it recommends blanket time. Now, when I first start, I lay a blanket down where I want them. When I give them toys, I choose toys specific for that kid that I know that they're not going to be bored. It's really good for their attention spans because you only give them, you know, just a handful of toys, not a lot. When you first begin, you're gonna feel frustrated. You're going to feel like it's a waste of your time, but if you stay consistent with it, then it will get better, and it really will. You'll see a difference in the way your kids behave. When you're first teaching them, you can't do anything else. All you're doing is teaching them, and I'll just sit right here by the blanket and I'll watch them play. I won't play with them. I won't show them what to play with. I just watch them. Even if they sit there and scream, that's literally what they do most of the time, is just sit there and scream. They will get the hang of it. There are many different reasons that you could benefit from.
What the actual F? Why are we watching Ruby Frankie? This chick is what? She just said that that's what they do most of the time, that they scream, and she just sits there and watches them scream.
Blanket time, but I'll tell you the reasons.
Just so you know, like, I can't think of something that would cause an anxious attachment quicker than this would.
Why I started doing it. Olivia was almost 2, so I started it when she was a little bit older, but I could not get her to sit for the life of me. We would go to the doctor's office and she would be all over the place. I would ask her to sit on a chair and she just wouldn't do it. It was as if I wasn't even there asking her to do it. When we were at church, she would not sit on the bench, and I would pack a whole bag of toys and she'd go through that entire bag and be done with it in 20 minutes, 15, 10 minutes. It was terrible, and I just thought, I have got to get a grip on this. Are all little kids this way? And the answer to that is yes, but the trick is teaching them how you want them to behave. Kids will learn.
Okay, so the thing that I agree with here is we teach people how to treat us, and we do teach our kids how to behave through rewards and punishments, but we also do that by setting boundaries and then communicating so that the kid understands. I know that there's a lot of people out there who are like, well, I turned out okay, and my parents like would tell me don't ask any questions. Like, if I say no, it's no type thing. But the truth is, if you look at the research, that's fine. You know, that might be true. But we see more, we see an increase of more well-adjusted kids when you have communication. So you stick with your boundaries. So in other words, you let your kid know that they have to be home by 10:30 because they're 17 and, you know, you don't want them driving it later than that. So like, you let them know why. So instead of just saying, be home or you're punished, you have a conversation with them. And maybe there's a night that they're at the movies and they know the movie's not going to get done till 11. You should be able to be, not you personally, just in general, that you should be able to negotiate that as well and be like, okay, like if that kid's been, you know, does good, listens, whatever, absolutely. Yes, through positive interaction and positive reinforcement. That's exactly right.
Anything if you just teach.
And you guys, positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, just so people know, negative reinforcement is not punishment. Positive and negative in psychology often means good. It often means plus and minus, not good or bad. So things like positive and negative correlation, positive and negative symptoms of schizophrenia, positive and negative reinforcement. So again, it means added and taken away, not good and bad. So we have two things, right? We have rewards and punishments. Let's do punishments real quick, just to make it quick. Punishments, there's positive punishment and negative punishment. And negative punishment is what we see most often. Give me your phone for being bad, right? So we take something away as a result of the behavior to stop it from occurring again. A positive punishment is not a good punishment. It's an added punishment. So instead of doing just your chores this week, you have to do yours and your brother's chores for smacking him. So you're adding something as a result of the bad behavior. So you want the bad behavior to stop, but you're doing it by adding, or you know what else we see for a positive punishment? Slap. That's a positive punishment. Again, that's a good example because obviously a slap is not a good thing, right? It's added. Then negative and positive reinforcement real quick. A positive reinforcement is giving something to get behavior to occur again. So, here's $5 for getting an A on your test. Then negative reinforcement, this is taught wrong all the time, and it's like a pet peeve of mine. So you guys are going to know this, and there are some psychology teachers that teach this wrong. It's literally a pet peeve of mine. Negative reinforcement is not punishment. Negative reinforcement, just like positive reinforcement, is trying to get you to repeat a behavior. But this time we're doing it by taking something away. So a great example of this is, think about when you get in your car and you hear the annoying ding, 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 and then you put your seatbelt on, and what happens? It goes away. So more people are likely to just get in their car and put the damn thing on. And sometimes when I'm in my car, and like if my husband is in the passenger and he doesn't have his on and it's dinging, I'm like, I'll look at him and I'll be like, oh, sorry, and he puts it on. But again, that annoying dinging is enough to look at somebody and be like, come on. And they're like, oh, my bad. And then they put it on because they don't want to hear it either. So that's an example of negative reinforcement. So here we get people to put their seatbelts on more often and then get rid of the annoying ding as a result of putting that on. So that's the difference there.
Teach them. And if you stay consistent with it, that's the biggest thing with this. In the beginning with blanket time, you are going to feel like it's a disaster. And it is. It's really hard. And I have a headache every time I start. But if you stick with it, you will be able to tell your child to sit on a blanket, play with a few toys, and I leave my kids there for up to an hour. And the reason that I chose an hour is because that's how long sacrament is. That's how long a lot of meetings that we go to are. And so you start with about 10 to 15 minutes.
She said that's how long sacraments is, and then she said that's how long meetings that we go to are. So there it goes. Ding, ding, ding.
And you work your way up, and it depends on their age as well. I do not like to set a timer because something that this teaches is that blanket time starts when mom says, and blanket time ends when mom says. If they're being really, really good, I'm not gonna take them off the blanket. They can stay and do what they're doing, even if it's past the time that the timer says. Or if blanket time needs to end a little bit early because they are just not having it that day, because sometimes that's gonna be the case. Then you can say, okay, mommy says blanket time is over, and you can let your little one run off the blanket, because what you really don't wanna do is for the child to say, I'm done doing this, and get off the blanket.
He is 100% correct there. By letting the kid get, I think that she's right there. So so if you are going to do this or anything, right? Like she said, you want to take control and not have your kid think that they were the ones that made the rule. So she said, if I notice my kids aren't having it and they're starting to go off the blanket, instead of them saying like, this is stupid, I'm not doing this anymore, and then getting off the blanket and being defiant and now it's over because they decided it's over, you could say, blanket time's over if you notice that they're about to be, but I'm sure she gets them to sit down first and, so that she can show them. And I have to be honest with you, kids do need to know that the parents are in control. When it comes to parenting, always make sure that mom and dad are at the top and that the kids then come under, and that the kids aren't playing the parent against each other, because they will.
That doesn't teach him to be obedient. That doesn't teach him to listen to what you're saying. So you really got to be strict with it. Another place that this really helps is when I'm trying to cook dinner and I just need them out of my hair, but I don't want them running around the house making a huge mess. I need them right there. And plus, I like them seeing what mom's doing. When I'm cleaning and I'm going room to room, I don't put a blanket out, but I'll set them on the couch and I'll say, okay, I'm gonna clean the family room. Put music on, play, have fun, but you're staying on that couch while I clean the family room. I really do feel like this teaches strict obedience. It helps with their attention span. Oh, no, look, you gotta stay on the blanket.
I'm so glad that
happened. Stay on your blanket.
I wanted to see how she would.
So So just like that, they are going to crawl off the blanket. They're going to run off the blanket. And at first, all I do, I don't say much because I don't want to really communicate with them when they're on blanket time. And the reason is because sometimes I just need to read. Sometimes I'm making phone calls. Sometimes I'm doing bills. And so I do not want to entertain them. And that's another thing that this does, is teaches them to self-entertain. And so when they
just got off the blanket, she cut it out.
Off the blanket, I just pick them up, put them back on the blanket. I usually start around 18 months. They usually get it pretty well by then. Olivia doesn't necessarily stay on.
Did you guys notice he just ran down the hallway?
On a blanket for quiet time or blanket time anymore because she is older and she doesn't really need to do that. When I started teaching Boston how to stay on a blanket, I put Olivia on one. That way he saw what she was doing, he saw what Cody was doing, and he kind of got the idea. But a lot of time I'll just put her up at the table, have her do her homework, have her color, and just she knows to stay there until I tell her that it's time to get up. Sometimes if I feel like the child needs it, or if I really need them to stay on the blanket just a little bit longer, I will give them treats. I don't want Boston to hear me. He's like, what'd you say?
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes I will give them snacks, so that will keep their attention, but I try to teach them
so much for keeping that quiet.
To play without snacks. I have taken the kids to doctor appointments with me, and I will tell them, okay, we're gonna have blanket time, but I put them in the chairs at the doctor's office, and every time, I don't think I've gone to the doctors without a nurse or the doctor saying, wow, I can't believe your kids just sit there. First of all, I threaten them before the doctor gets in there. You will sit here, you will be quiet, and you will not get off of these chairs. And if they do, I wait till we get home, and then when we get home, I really let them know that that was not okay to get off your chair, and we're gonna practice, and we're going to learn to sit still when we go to the doctor's office, or when we go to wherever, you know, but I don't make a scene.
Did anybody grow up like that? Like where your parents like came home and then made you sit there type thing?
Where we're at. But I do let them know I am not happy with you, and we are going to talk about this when we get home, because you're in public. You don't want to embarrass your child. Plus the child's probably not even paying attention because they're looking and doing whatever they're doing. Is he staying on his blanket? Okay. I just had to make sure. This has also been a really good thing for when I just had one child, because now that I have a couple of kids, when I'm in the shower, I can put them in a bedroom and have them play together, or put them in front of the TV. And Olivia's old enough that if there's something wrong, she can come and get me.
Oh my gosh, that little boy's like playing as if he, look, I don't like that. I don't know if it's just because my friend was murdered with a gun, but look at him.
This has also been a really good thing for when I just had one child, because now that I have a couple of kids, when I'm in the shower, I can put them in a bedroom and have them play together, or put them in front of the TV. And Olivia's old enough that if there's something wrong, she can come and get me. But when it was just Olivia, I couldn't.
Does anybody else see him? He's like straight shooting the camera. I mean, he's obviously not, but he's like looking right at it.
Shower, she was into everything, and I couldn't
let the brother
to run through the house, so she'd be in the bathroom while I was trying to get ready, and it was absolute chaos. So what I would do is I would put the towel mat on the floor in the bathroom, because it was.
Meanwhile, the one kid's pretend shooting, and the other kid has a basket on his head.
Just big enough, give her like one thing, because I'm only going to be in there for 15-20 minutes, maybe 30. And I would tell her to stay there. This was after I taught her, and it made my shower time so much better. It was so much better and more like I felt like I could do stuff. My mind wasn't complete chaos 24/7 during the day. Something that you're also going to want to keep in mind, if your child is hungry, if your child needs a nap, they're not going to do good at blanket time. You have to kind of plan it in your day. It's right before lunchtime, they're probably not going to do well. So make sure that they're fed, make sure that their diapers are changed, or they've gone to the bathroom. That way they don't use the excuse, I need to go to the bathroom, I need to get off the blanket. So make sure that they're ready for it, and they will do much better. You will be more successful if you make sure that it's good timing for them as well. Normally,
that actually I agree with, whether it's like, you know, maybe not blanket time, but for some activity. I don't think blanket time itself is bad. I think it's the way that she doesn't respond to them during blanket time, and I get what she's doing, but the thing is, when we put kids in timeout, you're not supposed to interact with them during timeout, not even if they freak out, because then they learn to manipulate and freak out to get your attention. So I feel like she's like employing the rules of timeout instead of what the point of blanket time is.
Don't have their blankets so close, but I just wanted them in the frame. But usually I try to keep them separate. That way they don't fight with each other. They don't want each other's toys. They're not trying to play with each other. It just keeps them separate, and it just is better, at least for me, that way. So that is what blanket time is. That's what, why, and how I do it. If you have any questions, you can definitely leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you start doing blanket time and you like it, make sure to tag me in pictures. You can do it on Instagram or Twitter. I've had a few people do it already, and I think it is really fun. I think it's really great. To each their own. Good luck, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Oh my gosh, did anybody see that? He was like sticking his finger in the socket. Oh my God, Truth. Are you crazy? Oh my God. What? Thank you. Holy crap. Truth is gifted. Oh my God, it's going to do this 10 times. Yes. I think it's going to do it 10 times. So that first one was for Flojo. Hi, Flojo. Thank you, Truth. Oh my God, that was so generous. Oh my God, this is going to be a lot of times. Let me see if I could jump on and it's going to do. That one was for Leslie. Next is going to be for Rosier. Then 34, Goldilocks. May. Cree. Crispy. Dandy. Yes. Oh no. Oh no. Am I still here? Oh yeah, I'm still here. Truth, you like broke the stream. Oh my God. I'm like dying right here. Thank you so much. That was so very generous of you. I'm hoping I'm not freezing up. Thank you, Truth. And hopefully everyone that got gifted a membership also says thank you. I'm still wondering if 8 more get downs are going to come through. Because the last time, didn't they all come through at the end? That was so funny. Wait, let me see if I can just try and fix it just in case. I don't want people to be like, what in the hell? Actually, why I do that, let me put this on so you guys can watch a little bit more of this, why I fix that. But Truth, that was so freaking generous. I appreciate you. Hopefully this isn't, hopefully you guys are able to see this. Okay, there's only a couple more minutes and then we'll switch back over to Lauren.
Let's wait for the garbage truck to pass. It was as if I hadn't even.
I love bloopers.
Lost my train of thought. He's so cute.
Oh my gosh.
You can't see Cody, but he's shooting his army man right now.
Oh, there you go. He's shooting his army man. Oh no. What is she doing? What in the hell was that?
I can hear all
right. I'm trying to lower this. My bad.
And I can hear Cody on the monitor.
Morning, Mom.
Hi, Guy. I'm going to have to check this lady out. Is she still on the internet?
Documentary that to Ruby, obedience was love. Love was obedience. And blanket training does teach babies and young toddlers strict obedience from a very young age. And so I just want to point out that, yes, if we're going to talk about her upbringing and who Ruby Frankie is, we do look at the Griffith family a little bit and who they were in perfectionism, and obedience certainly is valued in their household.
And I should say, it's not, I don't want to just pin this on the Mormon church either. I mean, I'm quoting Brandon Patrick, the therapist, who certainly suggests that Mormon culture is driven by some perfectionist tendencies. It's not, of course, it's not just Mormonism.
No, the Duggars did blanket training. The Duggars, I think any strict or high demand religion, and you can have families in a particular religion that create high demand family structures and people that are in the same religion and don't. So I know what you're saying.
Well, it's not even just religion. It's part of, it's Western culture. If you want to expand it, it's Western culture. It's advertising. It's how often are we bombarded with advertising that has people with perfect bodies and perfect homes and perfect everything, right? That's the image that.
Oh my God, isn't that crazy, you guys? Is that not what I just said when we just watched that? I said, look, about the perfectionism, how it's the perfect house, the perfect kids, the perfect this. She looked like she was perfect. She made it look like it was easy.
Not just Mormonism, it's the image.
So I'm glad that I did warn you guys that me and John have similar teachings when it comes to marriage and family therapy, that we believe in a lot of the same family systems, maybe not the way that they are in the case. I even not disagreed, but I answered some questions that a little bit different here. But as far as like Bowenian theory and how systems work, I do agree with a lot of that.
Image in Western culture that we're told to follow and believe in, right? And they put that out as an ideal. So it goes much further than in this particular case. I think Mormonism is in play, but in particular, I think it's in play because the idea of God as kind of the perfect being, right? That idea comes into play not only in Mormon, not only with Ruby, but with Jody in particular. So Jody sees God as this ideal of perfection.
Swanee, what do you mean you disagree, though, with how he labeled it? Maybe I missed that part. What do you mean by that? Because another thing is, I'm wondering. Well, let me see what you mean by that first, because I'm wondering if it's like a word that's maybe used in a theory as opposed to like something he used. But let me know what word it was.
And moral perfection, and that Jody. So in that sense, Jody sees sin as the ultimate worst possible outcome for a human being.
Right.
And so
I want to point out what Sterling Nash says, that obedience would signify breaking someone of their own free will and gaining power over them as well. And I also agree that the judgy comments from the Stringville neighbors in the beginning were kind of catty. So that quote that you stated from the therapist was sort of backed up by a bit of the catty comments of the people judging them and saying, well, they weren't friendly and they weren't this. And, so with perfectionism, with a belief in perfectionism can come with judgment.
I think what he meant, and I do think he meant that did sound very academia-ish of him, but I think what he meant by the Western culture was just saying, like, how in some Eastern societies, there's like, they have different, like, we're individualistic. A lot of them are collectivist, which is probably, if you look at collectivism, it works a little and all of it. It's not just like seeing yourself as a part of a system, as opposed to our individualistic culture, where we look for what are you the best at, and then we just, it's like you are the world, like you're the center of everything, as opposed to everybody helping each other. So but I see what you're saying. I didn't love it either the way it was said. It could have been said a lot differently.
A lot more judgy,
Well, that's exactly why they brought in when they kept bringing in the narrators, I kept thinking, why are they in this documentary? They don't really advance the narrative. And the answer is because they're showing you in real time the culture that's creating Ruby Frankie, right? No house is big enough. No car is nice enough, right? You're in a game of status. And, they say in the documentary that everything changed for the Frankies when they started getting these big checks, when they started making more money.
Money.
Kevin acknowledges they sold out. Kevin essentially says that. He said, I would do whatever we had to do to keep these checks coming in.
Right.
And his interpretation of that was that they were representatives for the church or for Christianity, whatever, that he felt like he could justify everything they were doing and all the massive amounts of money they were making and the need to expand their to get better homes and cars or whatever they were doing because they were representing Christianity.
Yeah, he admitted that he was of the belief that what they were doing was okay because he would put it in the perspective of God is blessing us with abundance because we.
So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that he really felt that God was blessing them with abundance, Kevin, or do you think that he was like just doing whatever Ruby says, or do you think that he was just being passive and just, like, what do you think? There could be many reasons, but why do you guys think, that he didn't help? And then once he didn't help and everything happens, I think after that, he blames a lot of it on, I was just doing this, or I was told to do that. And that for me is more like trying to save himself. But as far as during the time, I wonder what that was about. Or could it have been that he was, I'm trying to think, like, if I was thinking as like a marriage therapist, it was probably something more along the lines of his work and stuff, that he was focused on those things. And he should have been. So again, the good news is it probably wasn't about them. The bad news is it probably wasn't about them.
We are demonstrating our religion and our faith and our belief in God. And these paychecks that keep rolling up $100,000 a month
Ella,
are our blessings
Ella.
For being missionaries.
Ella, you're the best, Ella. Thank you so much for the super sticker. You have no idea how much that means to me. I don't know if it's going to play a song for you. I hope I didn't do something where it turns it completely off. But just in case, Ella, get down. Get down. Thank you, Ella. You are the best.
And he did lay that out. Kevin laid that out. That is why. And they did bring up an example of a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a speech that was given saying, be missionaries online. Do good online. Show goodness and the family goodness that you have and what a good family is online. And so I believe that sort of reaffirmed his position that they were almost being blessed because they were doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, and I think if one thing I kept bringing up to you was this idea of authenticity. It felt like no matter what
isn't that rich?
Ruby said or did, or Kevin to some degree, maybe to a lesser degree, it felt like everything they do was so shallow and so fake, right? Like I never had the sense that Ruby.
Did you see her face there?
Had like what I would call a true self or like an authentic self. Like there was nothing there. It was like she was hollow, and all she did was parrot back. People would say online, "Oh, your family's this," or "Your family's so beautiful or perfect," and she would feel that way. She would internalize that.
Okay, just so you guys know, that's probably the characteristics, in my opinion, just from what I know, allegedly, of a personality disorder.
And so, for me, part of this is the fact that I think that Ruby and Kevin didn't really know who they were and what they wanted and what they valued, right? I don't think they ever really took a moment of self-reflection or developed any self-knowledge to really
if this isn't
figure out what is it you people value. Because if you don't have that, then you're just going to spend your time chasing rainbows or trying to cultivate these images that are completely fabricated and false. And right. And so, and I'm not saying, by the way, it's this idea of cultivating an authentic self is really difficult. And there's some debate about whether that's even possible, but it's certainly possible to cultivate a self that makes sense to someone and that's coherent and has values that we can kind of rely on or that a person can rely on. There's different conceptions philosophically of what a self is and all that. But so I don't want to get into that too much, but the point is like,
I wish she did get into that because I do all of my research in identity development and that's all about the self and attachment. I would have loved that.
If you really listen to Ruby, there's nobody home. She doesn't ever really say anything that represents a set of values or principles or beliefs. I mean, beliefs maybe later with Jody, but she's almost like this empty vessel. And I think that's part of the problem here. When you start throwing money and praise and attention at someone like Ruby, she's just going to follow that trail forever.
You did say that throughout the entire documentary. Ruby's just so empty. She's just this empty vessel. Like there's just nothing there. Is that what you meant? Is that what you you're sharing? Yeah.
I felt some, sorrow I felt some empathy and sadness that this person had no capacity for self-reflection.
Oh my God.
And no self-awareness, right? It was just,
what did he
she would make these videos, she'd throw it out to her audience. What? They would praise her. She would eat it up. It just became this circular feedback loop of praise and behavior and expectations. And, the only way she got out of that was that moment when Chad talked about sleeping on the beanbag chair, right? It was kind of this inadvertent moment.
We had that moment, actually. Can we show that?
What did he just say? Did he just say what I thought he did?
And, the only way she got out of that and no self-awareness, right? It was just, she would make these videos, she'd throw it out to her audience. They would praise her. She would eat it up. It just became this circular feedback loop.
Oh my God, you guys, if that's not projection, what the heck? I enjoy our collective therapy session too. You are amazing.
Of praise and behavior and expectations. And, the only way she got out of that was that moment when Chad talked about sleeping on the beanbag chair, right? It was kind of this inadvertent moment.
We had that moment, actually. Okay. Can we show that?
Yeah, let me tell you something. So he's saying like this was caught on camera. I disagree with that. It was caught on camera. However, this wasn't a live stream. She had to edit that video and upload it. That's the difference here, John.
This jumps into what you want to discuss. This was a moment that changed everything for the 8 Passengers YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
In our house, when we take something away, it's because they have shown that they are not responsible enough to manage it. And so we don't just turn around and give it back as soon as they start acting good.
It has to be consistent.
It has to be consistent over a minimum of 6 months. And that's showing up consistent in every aspect of their life.
That's a new rule.
I was just going to say the kids don't look like they knew that that was a rule.
Oh, wait, just
A minimum of 6 months.
have I ever given something back more than less than 6 months?
No. My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple of weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
Sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October. And you gave my room back like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'll give you the reason why I lost my bedroom. I think so. I think it's the reason. At least this is the reason that's in my head. It's pretty funny, but now that I look back, it's pretty depressing.
No, we never told our viewers.
I woke up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland and he has to pack. And he got up and made his bed all neatly and then packed all his clothes in a suitcase. And then he walked out the door and I'm like, he was like, what? And he's all happy. Has his sunglasses on. And I was like, we're not going to Disneyland. And he started crying and hitting me. And then he went back to bed in tears. And then.
So there you go. That was, according to the documentary, a very...
Again, I want to make it clear that I disagree with this because only because Ruby had to have uploaded this. Oh, look, I always stop it on the worst thing, but I don't do that on purpose. But again, Ruby had to upload this. So she could have taken this and then been like, why would you say that? And then never upload it. But the fact that she then uploads it for me, it says something different.
Pivotal moment in the 8 Passengers YouTube channel because for the first time ever, Ruby started getting more negative feedback than positive feedback. And they felt that they were being canceled. And rather than, Kevin even explained it on this documentary, rather than taking responsibility or realizing maybe we did something wrong or this wasn't right, they felt like the victims, that they had been wrong, that they couldn't look at think, well, maybe people have a point. Instead, they were the victims, they were being canceled. And this moment started to show who Ruby really was, I think.
So until that moment, this is a fascinating moment to me because it changes everything, at least according to the documentary.
This is a fascinating moment for me. Wow. This is crazy, right, you guys? Tell me this isn't like projection 101.
I wasn't aware of how big this moment was until we watched this. I knew it started shifting things a little bit. I didn't know that it was catastrophic. According to the documentary, that moment's catastrophic. And so what's fascinating to me about that is, number one, that she says it's kind of an off-the-cuff comment. She doesn't see it coming, right? And she says, our viewers don't know this. And she laughs a little bit, right? Like, in other words, she sees this moment as being harmless.
Look, he's trying to look at her. He's trying to make eye contact with her, you guys. And she is not paying attention. I'm going to go back 5 seconds. Watch this.
Laughs a little bit, right? Like, in other words, she sees this moment as being harmless. Because she could have.
Now remember, I have this on 1.5, so that was a way longer pause.
Easily edited that out. If she saw that, it's problematic.
Oh, you guys, did you just hear what he said? I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I didn't see this before.
Because she could have easily edited that out. If she saw that as problematic, she should have taken it out. But she kept it in the video because she didn't see that as being anything that was problematic.
She doubled down. And so, so here's so this goes back to everything I was talking about the lack being hollow and the lack of self-reflection. She doesn't have the self-awareness to see how a moment like that could change everything. In other words,
what the actual heck is happening right now? How does that happen? Wow. You guys, do me a favor. If I ever do this, please tell me. You could tell me nicely. You don't have to throw me out on or under the bus on a live stream, but send me an email and be like, yo, cuz, let me just point something out for you real quick. I'm just my jaw's on the ground. This probably means so much. I don't know. This is to me, I don't know if you guys are reacting in the same way I am, but this is just crazy to me, especially knowing that it winds up fitting, in my opinion, a lot of what they then go through, or, wow. When was this? I wonder how long ago this was.
She doesn't think it's a big deal that she had her kids sleep on a beanbag chair for 7 months. What's the harm? This is just what normal parents do, right? And she doesn't have the capacity or the self-awareness to understand why people would object to that. That's what, more than anything, that's what amazes me about this moment.
What amazes me about the other moment, first of all, she needs to stop looking down at her phone every time. That cannot be comfortable. There's got to be another way. They have enough money to get another teleprompter. I mean, I said a teleprompter, another monitor, or she could put her phone above the laptop monitor like mine is right now, so it looks like you're looking up instead of down. I don't know, but if I do look down, it's not or I'll tell people, you guys, I'm just da-da-da. But she keeps looking down on everything he's saying here. Wow, if this isn't...
She had that awareness, she would have edited it and even if she didn't, even if she put it out there, it seems to me like the logical, emotional response to a moment like that is to apologize, is to take responsibility and say, we did this.
God.
I made a mistake. I've learned from it.
And this is coming from the person that wanted to see jail time for Christina. Right? Think about that. He's saying right here, wow, think about that when he says this.
Emotional response to a moment like that is to apologize.
Right.
And even if she didn't, even if she put it out there, it seems to me like the logical, emotional response to a moment like that is to apologize.
He just talks about, I have to fix this. It only goes back like 5 seconds.
Or the self-awareness to understand why people would object to that.
There you go. So
That's
why
what
would people, and they, in my opinion, didn't have the self-awareness to understand why people would object to them calling for 10 counts of whatever they were trying to say, stalking or whatever, so that she could get 5 years for each count. So if you don't have the insight to understand why that outraged other people, I don't understand how you don't then see that same thing. I don't know. This is just so wow.
Than anything, that's what amazes me about this moment. Like, if she had that awareness, she would have edited it. And even if she didn't, even if she put it out there, it seems to me like the logical, emotional response to a moment like that is to apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Is to take responsibility and say,
wow,
we did this. I made a mistake. I've learned from it. This is not how parents should act, right? But she doesn't do any of that. In fact, as you point out, she doubles down and she goes to she doubles down. She blames cancel culture, and then she starts moving to this extreme with Jodi Hildebrandt. As Kevin describes it, she rejects kind of this happy-go-lucky facade that she's created with 8 passengers, and she starts moving more towards the spiritual existence. It's not like a normal spiritual existence. It's like a punitive, ascetic spiritual existence that's filled with sin and demons, right? She starts moving to this dark world, and again, that's because she doesn't have this core set of values to fall back on. If she's in this endless feedback loop so basically the feedback loop goes like this. She films something, and in the message she's trying to get across is, look at how wonderful and perfect and happy we are. Look at what a wonderful, perfect, happy Mormon family we are, and I'm the perfect Mormon mom. And then she puts that video out, and the feedback is, look at how wonderful and happy and perfect you are. We want to be just like you, Ruby. You're wonderful and perfect and happy, right? And now that she gets caught, the narrative starts shifting to, this is all a facade. I can't believe I believed you.
OMG.
You're a horrible parent. And she doesn't know what to do with that. She can't integrate that because there's nobody home. So what does she do? She finds Jodi. She denies it, number one, because she doesn't have any self-awareness and she doesn't have any capacity for self-reflection. She denies it. She blames cancel culture. She finds Jodi because Jodi was just coming to her life around that moment. And then she's so gullible at that point. Jodi starts driving her towards a really dark spiritual place. But as I've said
I can't believe this, what I'm hearing. This is literally like crazy. Oh my gosh.
before, let me make this clear. This is not all Jodi. A lot of this, you see, and Sherry, Frankie, does a great job of talking about this. You see that before she meets Jodi, there's these aggressive, even kind of violent moments where when Ruby's narrative of the perfect happy Mormon family is not being met or not being filmed, she's not happy. She's angry. She's aggressive. There's a moment where I don't know which child it was because they blurred the face. She reached out and grabbed the face.
Yes.
Of one of her kids, like hard, like her mouth. She grabs her mouth and she squeezes it, like, don't talk.
She did do that.
Don't say that, right? And with Gabby Petito, I pointed out that, Brian Laundrie did the same thing with Gabby Petito. And I said, when you do that, the next logical step is strangulation. You go.
And I want to point out, you said this before Gabby Petito was found. While the world was still looking, you watched the Moab body cam footage.
Wait, okay. So there's usually some escalation in between. He said, well, I guess so. I guess I agree with that. I have to be honest with you. So although he jumps from point A to point B and that it doesn't, but this is what he said about the stalking thing too. So you can't just use it as a blanket statement, but in a relationship, it is true. If somebody is in an abusive relationship, definitely try to get out of it and know that you can't just leave. Like, you have to have a plan, because the most critical time where you're at risk is when you leave. So just make sure there's a plan, but just know that it doesn't get better. It just escalates and eventually can lead to that. But he's making it sound like it just goes from one to the next overnight. And it could. I guess it could, because look, for Gabby Petito, it did.
Remember you saying that. We just actually re-released that recently. Go ahead, but I wanted to put this in context. So
What
when
are
you
you
do
doing
that,
with that?
go ahead.
It's a similar behavior. It's not only is she physically, literally and physically shutting down speech by closing her child's mouth, but she's sending the message like, I can control the oxygen going into your body,
Yes,
which is
I agree
exactly
with
what
that.
strangulation is.
That's absolutely true. In Jody I mean, in Ruby Frankie's case, I totally agree with that. That was more like she literally not only grabbed his face, but she had her hand over his nose and mouth. She was suffocating him. So he's saying strangulation. I think I'm like thinking because he's saying about the other one about which I would love to look at that case too. Gabby Petito. But when it comes to Ruby, she had already had her hands over the kid's mouth and nose. So, and told him literally that she's God. She said, I am God. Like they were her exact words. So she was letting him know that I like brought you into this world. I'll take you out of this world. I agree with that part. Oh.
If you move your hand down 3 inches, you're on someone's neck. It's the same behavior.
I don't know why he's going from the mouth to the neck though. Like what's the thing with that? Like, why are we going right to the neck? And like what would be the difference if he she was suffocating him?
Right? Like, it's not inconceivable. I mean, obviously, thankfully, this was stopped before it went too far. But it's not inconceivable that one of these kids could have easily been hurt in that manner.
Sure.
Because the next logical step would have or could have been they bound these kids.
Yeah.
Right? The next logical step would have been something like strangulation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she definitely had her hands over the nose and mouth. In my opinion, she talked about, have you ever heard somebody talk underwater? In my opinion, if we're going to speculate like John did, why is it me or like, I don't mean to stop on these things, but he's always making a goofy face. But she talks about the talking underwater. In my opinion, it probably would have been more likely that she held him under the water. I'm sure she probably would have eventually gotten to that too. Who knows?
So Ruby had this absolute need for control, this absolute need for power, this absolute need for perfection, and this absolute need for attention and to be seen. This is starting to get very toxic, to say the least. We're seeing things hit a pinpoint where someone could become a criminal. And so when things start to go south and she's not getting the attention she craves, how does Jody come into this? How does Ruby all of a sudden decide that she's going to be this extra spiritual person? I mean, according to the documentary, they said that it was after this, that she was seeking something more. But how did you see that?
I think at the moment that Jody enters her life, especially after the beanbag incident, Ruby's particularly vulnerable. And I think in that moment, she's looking for answers, she's looking for direction. And as I said, she's sort of this empty vessel that really doesn't know what to do. So if that moment doesn't happen, she probably just keeps on the same course. But given that moment and the kind of the collapse of their channel because of that moment that people started seeing through the facade and the masks, Jody is kind of the perfect person to pick up the baton or to pick up the wreckage. In the sense that I think Jody sensed that Ruby was vulnerable, that she was reeling from that incident, that her channel was falling apart. And I think Jody perceived an opportunity to take Ruby's audience and to essentially to appropriate or steal, however to take Ruby's audience for her own. And Jody was at that point trying to grow her own cult of sorts, connections, right? And what better way to do that than to have an audience of 2.5, 3 million people that are just being handed to you.
I do agree with that.
Right.
And so by controlling Ruby, obviously I think it's obviously hugely self-interested, but she's controlling her own capacity to build her own empire and her own channel. And she sees doing that, she's using Ruby as a vehicle to accomplish that goal.
Cosmetically Forsaken makes a great point. I'm going to bring this up. And by the way, let's segue really quickly. I know there's some other things you probably want to talk about. We're getting some great comments. So how together?
I think those are the main points I think I wanted to cover up front.
Maybe I should listen. Should I go back?
Yeah, we can. I think those are the main points I think I wanted to cover up front. I can't stress, I can't stress enough how important this idea of perfectionism is here. It's perfectionism without any foundation to support it. It's a perfectionism that's right. If you lack a self or a true self or whatever, authentic self,
which I believe Ruby did, yes,
then you have very little to build upon. And this idea of perfectionism, I think, becomes particularly troubling in those circumstances because you're chasing you're chasing illusions, you're chasing rainbows. Like you don't really know. She's defining perfectionism in the context of the church, but I don't think she really understands what that means. And so, I think this is where she gets lost.
Yeah.
She said, yeah.
Thank you. Cosmically Forsaken is asking that they're talking about a huge connection between Ruby and Lori, and they are referring to Lori Vallow Daybell. Now officially Lori Daybell. Did you know that? By the way, she has finally accomplished getting the Arizona courts to call her Lori Daybell. She is married to Chad Daybell still, who is also behind bars, and they are accused, not accused anymore. They are convicted murderers. They murdered Lori Vallow's 2 children, JJ and Tylee, which I believe was going to be the same fate as E and R. In fact, the police officer in Santa Clara, Utah said the exact same thing, that there's no doubt in her mind had R not escaped, that would have been E and R's
Why did she feel the need to connect it?
fate. So there's a huge connection between R and Lori. They both wanted to be special and important. They were found leaders who fed into that. I'm going to share a couple other things, though, before you answer this, because we need to talk about the parallels in this so much so because we haven't not talked about, I did just say that Jody's book is You Are Not Enough. So we have talked about this a lot, about how this is essentially a copycat crime or a, Lori Vallow 2.0 crime. And this documentary to me shook me to the core in a way that I thought, not only is this like a Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow 2.0, but it almost feels as if Jody was following the case and literally copying it. Because let me share a few things we learned. And some of you have asked these questions too. I've started these questions. Jeannie Marie says, what about the demonic thing going on? What do you make of that? What about Jody's breakdown? What is your take? So we know that there was a trance that Jody that happened, and we saw the trance where she was saying that there was a demonic possession inside her, and then they did these castings to try to get rid of it.
They did,
and then she got rid of Kevin. I don't know. So there's that. Then
she
refers to the kids as zombies at one point, and people are bringing that up too. They're saying it was shocking. Actually, Jeannie, that was you too. When she referred to her children as zombies. And
oh my God.
Then I do believe that these children, because of Jody, were on their way to being killed. That was next.
So this is the thing though. And everybody can have their own opinions, right? But why does everybody else get in trouble for speculating on it? And I don't get it. You know what I mean?
And we just have to talk about this. It blew my mind. Like, to me, there's no doubt this is absolutely the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell case 2.0. But to explain for those that haven't followed the Daybell cases clearly, Chad Daybell would be Jody Hildebrandt and Ruby would be Lori. So
wait, what the hell did she just say? She just said that this was Chad and Lori 2.0. They killed their kids. What? And their spouses. What did she just say? What?
Because of Jody, were on their way to being killed. That was next. And we just have to talk about this. It blew my mind. Like, to me, there's no doubt this is absolutely the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell case 2.0. But to explain for those that haven't followed the Daybell cases clearly, Chad Daybell would be Jody Hildebrandt and Ruby would be Lori. So can we talk about this? Because
yeah, wow. Yeah, there's so many parallels. I mean, last night when we were talking about it, you actually believed that it was possible that Jody was influenced by Chad Daybell, that Jody took elements of the Daybell case and refined them and put them into practice with connections and with Ruby.
Wait, what? What do you guys think about that? Wow. What do you think about that?
Yes, no, I really do think that now. I almost feel like Jody was inspired by Chad Daybell. They were preppers. They were prepping for the apocalypse. They both read Visions of Glory. Yeah, I know.
Oh, wow.
Which, I mean, we don't have any direct evidence.
That's so interesting. Oh, I'm glad that he just says that we don't have any direct evidence.
Of that, I think that the commonality is that Chad Daybell was this aspiring author that was starting to get some measure of attention, and I don't want to say fame. I got maybe a little bit of fame in the Mormon circles for his books. His books started becoming much more popular, certainly by the time that he and Lori committed the crimes. And Jody started connections, and she was growing quite a following, and she had this YouTube channel that was starting to get attention, like Chad. I think there were some parallels. They were both. You can't really say they were aspiring cult leaders because I don't think they would see it that way, but they were.
Wow, prepping comes from the church. See, that's the thing. Like they put fear in someone and
aspiring celebrities or pseudo celebrities. That's how they saw themselves, and so I think there is that commonality. They're both driven by similar issues.
Yes.
It's getting late.
They definitely were driven by similar issues. It was shocking. One question we've always asked in the Lori Vallow Chad Daybell case is, who was the ringleader? Lori too. There were problems with Lori before she met Chad, clearly, to say the least. But Beth asks, who does Jen think?
She does act so bored. Wait, look, I'm noticing. I'm like, I have them on, and we're losing people now. But I think it's also because we've been on for so long. They're like, all right, we're done with these two. But I don't think
is more influential, or who was the more culpable person, Ruby or Jody?
That's what I'm saying. They're like, why do they always go back to that case? And why did they just say that Ruby's case was the Daybell case 2.0? Like, that's just like invalidating what they did, right? And they both killed their spouses too. Like, what? Allegedly.
This is Jody's cult, just like it was Chad Daybell's cult. I think without Jody and if we're making the analogy with Daybell, without Chad Daybell, I believe the kids are still alive. Without Jody, these kids are probably not going to be abused at the level that they were. I mean, there were already, before Jody, there were already hints of abuse. As I mentioned, like the grabbing the mouth, I mean, Ruby's definitely culpable. And if, for those who saw Ruby's sentencing hearing, Ruby basically argued that Jody was a monster that influenced her and she had nothing to do with it, that she blamed it all on Jody. And that's not accurate either. That Jody definitely had sort of this, I'm sorry, that with Ruby, that Jody enabled Ruby's worst tendencies.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I agree with that.
Dr. John, why does control obedience equate to love? I don't think it does, but according to Ruby, it does.
Oh, it doesn't.
I think she's using the love in a particular context. That she's basically saying that that she considers love to be following orders and following her directives. In other words, love is pleasing her. And so, in that sense, I think that's why she equates obedience with love. Because if you defy her, then you're not showing the appropriate amount of respect or love.
Becky asks Dr. John, what does Ruby's commitment to obedience say about her own childhood?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a huge amount of details about her childhood, but I would speculate that, again, I talked briefly at the beginning about possible, intergenerational transmission of parenting practices or maybe trauma. I don't know the details.
Oh my God, you guys, we definitely studied similar stuff. I always talk about intergenerational transmission of, and you could put whatever it is at the end of it. And he just did that here too. That's kind of, that's what I think, that's why I react so much to some of the things that he does with that whole thing. I feel like had that never happened, that whole case with Lauren and stuff, I feel like not only would nobody have been talking about this, but he doesn't have the worst analogy in this one. Now, I don't agree with all of his cases, but this one, but I just feel like he winds up, I don't know, in my opinion, he picks at the wrong things and doubles down on the wrong things and doesn't lack the insight to see that, in my opinion.
But certainly you'd have to think that Ruby probably grew up in a family culture that was fairly strict, and there was kind of an underlying disciplinary stance in her family. So I don't know for sure. I
heard some things went on in that family, and allegedly, like with the sisters or something. Like I don't know. I need to look into that.
We have talked about, I have talked about the idea that.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Harlot earlier said that she had an old folder or something from when she was in grade school in that print, and you just said that your granddaughter has a purse in that print. That's so funny. Kobe Ryan just stopped by to show you both love. Do you notice how she has to make sure she has that up there?
There doesn't seem to be.
Yes, Lauren's family is being looked at for a RICO case. It's a civil RICO case, but nonetheless.
A huge amount of empathy. If you look at some of the other YouTube channels that Ruby's sisters have done, right? We've talked about this before. I don't think I'm going to mention names here, but one of the sisters, after the whole Ruby story broke, one of the sisters basically came on and said, Ruby doesn't have anything to do with us. Right?
Who was it, Bonnie? And why does she still have Kobe's thing up? I don't like that.
I don't want this to affect our channel. Basically, she came on and said some stuff that was very self-serving.
Wait, she said some stuff that was very. He's talking about self-serving, as she now is just chilling with her arms crossed, keeping his comment up there. Like, does anybody? Do you guys see these connections that I'm seeing here?
We actually have Lori Vallow's son with us now. I want to know, Colby. It's good to see you. He said he just hopped on to show us both some love.
Thanks, Colby.
We actually have Lori Vallow's son on here right now. Did you just hear what she just said?
Self-serving.
We actually have Lori Vallow's son with us now. I want to know, Colby. It's good to see you. He said he just hopped on to show us both some love.
Thanks, Colby.
Never fun to realize two YouTubers are sitting here discussing your mom and how she compares to Ruby Frankie. So we're sorry, Colby, and we admire you and how far you've come. And for those that are following this and haven't been following Colby, check out his channel. He talks a lot about what he's dealing with and how he's trying to heal and figure out what in the world happened in his life. So thank you for showing that love, Colby, and being here. Thank you.
What the actual one?
So I can infer, I don't know for sure, but I would guess that Ruby's family of origin probably stressed.
She still had it up there. Let's see how long she keeps this up for.
Obedience. They probably stressed discipline, right? Many of the things that Ruby is reenacting with her kids. That would be my guess.
Yeah. Yeah. People are asking if Colby sees any similarities. I don't know, but I will say this. Sherry did. Sherry Frankie, I read her book, and she has a whole section where she watched the Netflix documentary, Sins of Our Mother, which actually has both Colby and John in the documentary. And Sherry...
Let's stress that I'm in a much more minor role than Colby. So let's give a shout out here to Colby.
Yes, it was a documentary.
You know what? A lot of this is her right here, in my opinion. Like, what is she doing here? This is like so not cool, in my opinion. It's almost like she's telling everybody, like, we know, like, she's exploiting the victims. In my opinion, I would have never just done that. And how do you then go on to talk like this, knowing that the kids and the thing? I don't know if you guys remember, if anybody watched when I did. I've only done a few episodes, but I did an episode on Daniel for Martell or whatever. Well, his mom came in the comments, and it was like awkward after that for me to like talk bad. Like, so but she has like no problem here. She's like, and Kobe stars in it, and Dr. John.
That highlighted Colby and his healing journey, what happened to his family. But in that show, and John, you played a part in it as well. In that show, that is how you and Colby met.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sherry Frankie watched that, and she couldn't believe it. And there was a whole section in her book about how she thought, oh my gosh, this is my family. My mom has adopted the exact same beliefs. I read this over on Mormon Stories, a section of the book. And so it certainly needs to, this needs to be discussed and processed because, after watching this documentary, I started to actually feel like Jody was influenced.
Oh my gosh, how did this just get highlighted? I didn't see it. I mean, did she just highlight that? Jessica Kobe actually just did a video about that. Wait, did she highlight it?
Yeah, I
think she did.
Needs to, this needs to be discussed and processed because, after watching this documentary, I started to actually feel like Jody was influenced by Chad, that she thought. Because I'm going to say it, and I want to ask you, did you think her trance was real in any amount, or was it manipulation?
So this is the way I would describe the trance. I think her trance was what I would call a self-induced hypnotic state, meaning that there was no demon, there was no possession. So if you look at, they don't show a lot of the video of the trance.
Self-induced hypnotic state, or just self-induced like episode of some sort.
So-called trance. So was it a trance of sorts? I guess, but it was self-induced. You can self-induce. So it would be like a snake handler that starts speaking in tongues, right? You hand someone a snake in the Baptist church, and I know this, by the way, because my grandfather was a snake handler. I never went to see him do that, but he talked about it. Not much. I think even he thought it was strange. Yeah, I know, right? So, but he talked about, the people that would handle the snakes they would go into these trances and they would speak in tongues. And one of the tells with Jody's so-called trance is that when she's supposedly speaking in tongues, she's speaking perfect English.
She's mine.
Go watch for those who haven't seen, go watch this trance and tell me if this is supposed to be speaking in tongues and speaking like, I don't know.
Okay, I want to do a poll. I want to do a poll in chat. If someone knows how to do it. Well, maybe you can't do it through our streaming service. Maybe you have to go over on YouTube and do it. But I want to do a poll if one of our moderators is able to, and ask, do you believe that the trance of Jody's you saw was 100% manipulation, or did you think there was something to it? And I want to bring up too that we had heard about, this is another question for you, John. So another question I'm asking people, like, what about Kevin saying that he's seen things being thrown?
Braido-wise woman? I'm like, what is happening?
Back and forth. Then he has a picture of a handprint on a mirror. And they're like, do you have the picture? He's like, yeah, here it is. And we see it. And I was like, I'll have to be honest. I was like,
it wasn't, first of all, yeah, right. I love that the documentary guy says, do you have a picture of the handprint? He's like, yeah, here it is. That's not a handprint.
He's like, got it right here.
Like, that's what I would call a smudge. Like that was like somebody cleaning the window that like missed a spot or like put their hand there by accident. Like that was not a handprint left by the devil.
Yeah.
It didn't even look like a hand. I mean, so to answer your question, why does Kevin think all this stuff? Belief. He wants to believe it.
He wants to believe it. There you go.
That's good feedback, Steph.
Wants to believe it, or else he goes crazy. He actually said that. He wants to believe it. That was a moment in the documentary too, was what he said. The facts that I was seeing in front of my eyes did not equate to what I believed in my brain. And he was refusing to see it. And so you make a valid point. He wanted to believe it because he was in this cult. He was in. If it wasn't, it's like this denial mechanism. So yeah, he wanted to believe it.
And she keeps playing with her hair.
By the way, I learned after saying hello to Colby that he's actually already done a video about this. So for those wondering, if Colby sees the similarities, head to his channel. He'll answer you there. But you're right. He wanted to believe it. And that's just like Lori wanted to believe it. And Ruby wanted to believe it. And
this is crazy. I can't believe that they're like, that she's like doing that.
Chad, well, that's another story. We'll get into that later. But
there's a quote I often reference. There's a guy, he's now deceased, but brilliant social psychologist who used to teach at Harvard. His name's Carl Weick. Carl Weick was fond of saying that, that the usual cliche is seen as believing, right? That you get evidence, you evaluate it, and you formulate beliefs on that, right? Carl Weick used to always say, no, that's all wrong. The way it should be with human beings is believing is seen. Human beings, we adopt beliefs, and then we see evidence, or we see the world based on those beliefs. I love Carl Weick's statement because for the most part, I think there's a lot of truth to that. So that's not to say that there are people that evaluate evidence and change their beliefs accordingly, but it's not easy to do that. And so this is a case of believing is seen. He's all in on the cult. He believes in Jody's authenticity. He believes in this idea of demonic possession. So he's seen this handprint that he thinks is a devil. He's hearing noises that are supposedly demons or ghosts. It's all that.
Like confirmation bias.
Thank you, Susie. And thank you to the many people also that have gifted memberships tonight. So many generous people. Thank you so much. McSpunky, as well as there were a few others. So
I saw McSpunky did that. Thank you, McSpunky. Good to see you.
Destiny, thank you so much. There have been so many kind people donating or gifting Hidden True Crime memberships. We can all be gems. Thank you so much, Share Bear. And there were many others. Forgive me.
There were many others. Forgive me.
I agree. It was a wide open documentary. Emily, thank you.
I'm going to go back. Let's go back to this trance situation because it's so important.
Okay, please. I could talk about the trance forever. I was like, oh my gosh. That was like the thing where it's like, I've been wanting to see that. I was like, show me Jody's trance. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is it. So I was like,
look, my grandpa was a snake handler. She's not speaking in tongues. That's not real. So,
yeah. By the way, 98% think it was all a manipulation.
You've been for a walk at the beach? Oh, I love that for you.
8% of our gems.
It's freezing where I am.
Kitchen.
That's the key to understanding that trance. That's the key. Because this is a moment in this story. This is a moment when Jody senses that Ruby is vulnerable and Jody wants to hijack Ruby's life completely. And in order to do that, she has to get Kevin out of her life and she has to get some of the kids out of her life. And she does that's exactly by going into this trance. And by the way, she also creates this inversion of roles, this shift in roles where Jody is supposedly the therapist, and then Ruby becomes the therapist. So I mean, anybody, since I'm a licensed psychologist, like I think any licensed mental health professional will tell you that's a massive red flag. Like if the therapist is acting sick or possessed, in order to have their client now become the therapist and to supposedly heal them or whatever she was doing, not only is that unethical, that's like,
yeah, that's weird.
The ultimate manipulation, right? And so by inverting those roles, what's going on is Jody is trying to take control of everything in Ruby's life.
So he's talking about inverted roles and how dysfunctional that is, but then he talks about in his affidavit or whatever it's called. I just made that up. I don't know what it's called. In his declaration, that's what it is. I said affidavit. I take that back. I meant declaration. In his declaration, he talks about the way that his son is in a role reversal right now with his mom. And so my question then would be, what would be the difference in um, in experiences, right? Like your therapist and the client they don't have a parent-child relationship by any means. If anything, the parent-child relationship is closer. So if he's saying that part is so dysfunctional to have a role reversal, then what about the role reversal he then talks about later? I don't know. It's just a thought.
She's trying to take control of her YouTube channel. She's trying to take control of her personal relationships, her romantic relationships, her children. This trance is the beginning of that process of hijacking Ruby's life. And by the way she does it, she's successful. She gets Kevin kicked out of the house, and Ruby moves in with Jody.
Right, to her bedroom.
She gets the two older children to leave. So the younger minors stay, but the two older children, Sherry and Chad, leave. Right? She gets Ruby to show up.
What about the two in the middle?
On her YouTube channel every day. I mean, and it all begins with that trance.
She gives her YouTube channel. She hands it over. Mom's the truth.
She hands it over. Mom's for truth.
She gives it. This was our entire livelihood for years and years and years. And here you go. Take it. Mom's the truth. That's all you got to know. Kara is asking, by the way, thank you so much, Kara, if Colby thinks that his mom would have gotten involved with Connections in Jody's teachings. I love that. If Colby's here, he can answer, or maybe he already has.
So, again, she couldn't post the 10 gifted memberships and all the things, but she made sure that she posted this one that had Kobe in it.
No, but if he's not here, I'm going to answer for him and say, yeah. Except Lori might have even gotten like Jody out of her place. She'd be like, guys, Jody's old news. Like, it's my turn now. Here we go. She would have been the head of Connections. A couple other questions. We only have, Krusha. Krusha's here.
What?
Krusha, thank you for being here. We're so sorry about your family's loss. Thank you, Krusha. I just see someone saying that you're here. I'm not.
I just see that someone says that you're here, but she has Data Lisa up there for 10 months. But Krusha is a victim. Oh, this is crazy. It's cuff you. I can't believe we watched this.
I've seen all the comments, so forgive me, everyone. I
can't see all the comments, so forgive me.
I have a couple more questions.
But she saw them.
I'm picking these. You guys, there's so many good ones. I've started so many, but I'll just go through. What is up with refusing children food anyway? I kind of agree with that. Like, what's up with that? Like, why that? Just something they need to survive?
Because just like with air, food is, something that you could survive. And it's a basic thing. And and it's also power and control too. And I always tell people, like, when you make your kids sit there until they're done eating, that is not about nutrition. That's about power and control. And that's not okay.
Control?
There's so many other ways to make a point.
Yeah, definitely control. I mean, yeah, that's an interesting question. I think there can be a lot of different levels to answering that question. But I think my immediate response would be that for most kids, food is the one thing they can control. So as someone who has worked with a lot of therapists that have worked with eating disorders, I haven't really done much with eating disorders, by the way, but I've
Okay, well, I have. And this is the thing. What I teach in eating disorders is that there's 3 things that kids can control. The food, or what they put in, what they put out, and what they say. And so therefore, although you can't, like your parents can lock the cabinet, for example, it's one of the things that kids do have control of as far as physically putting it into their mouth or not. If you guys remember in the journals we just read, there were times where the kids were hungry and they chose not to eat because they'd rather follow the devil, if you will. And that was a way for them to protest what Ruby was doing. And that shows right there that that kid had control over whether they were going to eat or not. So she didn't she wasn't able to force the food down the kid's face and said she called him Satan and stuff like that.
I've been in agencies where I've worked with therapists that were really excellent with eating disorders. And that's the one commonality they would talk about, that a lot of times children with eating disorders they might be in abusive and traumatic homes, and at the very least dysfunctional homes. And food is part of the process of having a voice, of controlling what's going on. So kids can control what they put in their mouth. Even if you force a child to eat, they can still, to some degree, decide whether they're going to eat it.
Oh, so he agreed with me.
And so in some ways, taking away food is like the ultimate form of control, because now you're taking away a child's you're taking away any capacity for that child to make a decision.
Oh, okay. I take that back, you guys. He actually just agreed with what I said right there. So that's it. So he just agreed with what I said. So I will take that back. But you guys have to remember, right? So if there's only 3 things really that kids control in their environment, as far as like, those big, what they take in, what they put out, and what they say, when a parent then shows that they can take those things away from them, like they have that control, it literally makes the kid feel as though they're completely out of control in their own environment. And that's how eating disorders start. They're a disorder of control.
Or to choose. They can't even choose whether they're going to eat. So you're literally stripping it. It would be, think of it as
No, it makes sense. Children rely on adults to take care of them, except for when it comes to eating. This is something they can do themselves. And so you're taking away the one thing that they can do themselves to take care of themselves.
It's very cultish in that sense.
Yeah. Krispy Kreme is asking, or Krispy Treat, excuse me, although they're both delicious. But Kevin is saying that there were things flying around the room. How do you explain that? Again, he wanted to believe it. Same.
Yeah. Well, first of all, there weren't things flying around the room. That was his imagination. I mean, it's sort of like when if you're going to go into, let's say you're going to go into a haunted house for Halloween, right? The best thing the haunted house can do is kind of market how scary it is and how things are going to be flying around in the haunted house, and it's going to be this otherworld experience, right? A lot of it's marketing. If you get people to believe that when they step into a haunted house, that all these paranormal things will happen, they're much more likely to see those things. And I think so. Kevin was primed. He'd had this set of beliefs. He developed these expectations.
A wise woman. Thank God in heaven, my kids are good. It was me growing up. I had an eating disorder from 13 to 21. I was hospitalized many times for it. I clearly beat it. That's just a joke I make because I have to laugh about it. But obviously it's not a funny thing. But it's interesting. I definitely have a lot of experience. With the safe foods, that's more about control too, if you think about it. So I would say there for your daughter, and this isn't really my business, so you don't have to take mine, but one of the things that might help is showing her that she does have options with things. I don't know how old she is. But by her changing her safe food, in those moments when she does that, try and reflect on what changed in the past few days, or did something change in the past few days, that this is a way to like regain control and be like, no, I don't like that. This is what I like now. So in other words, it has less to do with the food and more to do with what that represents, if that makes sense.
That Jody had these paranormal powers. And so I think that's what he wanted to see. Whether he actually saw that, it's interesting in the documentary, he doesn't talk about the flying dishes. He talks about the noise in the basement, and he talks about the handprint, but he doesn't bring up the dishes flying around the kitchen, like apparently the dishes flying out of the cabinet.
Easy, as long as your kid's eating, in my opinion, as a kid, then that's fine. If they eat grilled cheese and pizza, let them eat their grilled. Like, in other words, if they're going to eat that, that's better than you trying, not forcing them, but trying to have them eat something that they're not going to eat, and then they eat nothing at all.
Or whatever. I mean,
Picks or it didn't happen, Kevin. Picks or it didn't happen. I want to see.
Oh my God.
He's got pics of the handprint. I need to see the dishes flying.
Since my preference,
is it fair to assume that narcissists are susceptible to adopting extreme and problematic ideologies due to their need for validation? Or I'm just asking, why in the world is every cult leader a narcissist?
It depends on the narcissist. So there's probably a wide array of narcissists, and yes, if a narcissist wants to run a cult and take control of people's lives, it probably benefits them to adopt extreme beliefs, because that way they can weed out people that have less extreme beliefs, and they can focus only on the people with extreme beliefs. So I think it really depends on the narcissist. Some narcissists are psychopaths.
Exactly.
Are purely transactional. They don't really care about the beliefs. They just care about.
I don't know how old everybody's kids are, but if they're still like young enough or whatever, we struggle less than some, but it's always hard. Maternal instinct is to feed your kid. Absolutely. So my only advice here for anybody listening is, therefore, try to make food something that you guys do together, prepare together. If you have little kids, do little things, whether it's with food, clothes, anything. You want kids to think that they have control in their environment. Eating disorders is a disorder of control, and there's others that might follow. So what I would say here is, if you have a little kid, pick out 3 outfits and be like, you know what? I'm going to let you pick your outfit out today, but you let them choose between the 3 that you already put together. To them, their little brains won't get that, and they'll be like, wow, like they're going to let me pick out which one I want to wear. Or like when it comes to vegetables for dinner, be like, should we have peas or corn or rice or whatever? I just said rice. Did you just hear me? It's late. Peas, corns, or carrots, you know what I mean? And let them pick from them 3 type thing. And it gives kids, like little kids, a feeling of choice and control of their environment.
Getting what they can, and whether that's money, whether that's attention, whatever it is. So it depends. It depends on the needs. It depends on the context and the needs of the narcissist.
Yeah. I like that. Zero saying if Jody can stage prophecy, why not stage dish throwing?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in Vegas, so we
no problem.
Maybe Jody was set up some type of like Penn and Teller or Chris Angel type, illusions, or David Copperfield. I don't know. Right? Maybe she had something in her cabinets that pushed the dishes out. Anything's possible. It seems like that would be an elaborate.
Paige Hannah was behind the kitchen island going, she was like, I got this. Sorry. Okay. Bad joke. Let's talk about this. And we actually have to sign off. John and I are actually signing off to go be guests on Banfield on News Nation. Right after this, we're going to sign off and jump on with Ashley Banfield so you can come join us there. We're going to continue talking about this documentary, this Hulu documentary that came out, Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Frankie, over on Ashley Banfield. So come watch us there. But I'll end with Christina Beck is asking, why didn't Kevin get custody of the younger children? We do know now that the children now are back in his custody. We learned this. We actually put out a video yesterday. And one of our moderators, if you want to share a link to that, it's also in our playlist. But yesterday, E, the youngest victim that found at Jody Hildebrandt's house, has actually spoken out to Utah legislatures. And we have her message and what she shared this week, or was it last week? Just days ago. And we did learn that they are now back in Kevin Frankie's care. And then I also want to share that John and I were featured at the Columbia Journalism.
Great enough. Okay, so that was Hidden True Crime. If anybody wants to watch, please go and do that. You guys, we've been together now for 3.5 hours. It's been a long day. I want to read though. Oh, here goes part 1. Make your kid bored with Velcro pics of favorite foods and new foods you want them to try. Then write your grocery list. Match up the items from your list to the board for your kiddo. That's amazing. I'm going to use that in my child development. I let my son pick out his own outfits in the morning before preschool. Oh, yes, exactly. That's exactly what you're supposed to do, Calissa. Thank you, Dr. B. That's how I try to be, too. Yes, I wish he would eat more things. But yeah, a win's a win. Exactly. And then the second part, give your child the board to carry at the store. It's like a scavenger hunt to find the food on the list. That is the A+. You said I'll do that food board for my husband. I can't take it. That's hysterical, right? Me too. No, but that is such a great idea. And then part 3 at the end, the kid finds all the food and they can pick one treat for winning the scavenger hunt. That you win. A wise woman wins our A+ award today. That was awesome. That is such a great idea. And I could see how that definitely works because the whole point is to get the kid involved. So we usually say, like, have kids, like, plant foods with you and watch them grow and let them help, like, water and stuff like that. But this is even better because it's something you can do all the time. And you don't necessarily, like, you don't have to worry about the weather, stuff like that. Or, you know, whatever the case may be. But you have to go food shopping. And, like, this is amazing. That was great. Thank you so much. That was so cool. Thank you. Thank you guys all for being here and for staying this late. We're all crazies, like Kitty Cat says, right? But that's okay. That's why we're all up still. I'll pass that on to my daughter who's struggling with her 2-year-old. See? Doesn't that feel so good when you help, like you feel like you help someone? That was awesome. I love that. Look at us, you guys. We're so adult. Mods, I love you. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Truth, and everyone. And oh my gosh, wait, hold on, let me grab my phone. Sorry, I did not mean to snap that right in your ear. I just don't want to forget anybody. So Ella, Truth, Cuff You, Shirley, PK Vale, Marie and Bella, and then Marie and Bella again. Thank you. Thank you a ton. And thank you to my mods. Harlot is here all the time. Cuff You, Truth You, oh, look, a squirrel. Like, you guys are always showing up for me. And then I know Sarah does like the repeat show and she'll write in the comments and all. I appreciate all of you. Barbara's usually around too. I hope Barbara feels better. You know? Explore Core and Eva Mark. There you go. That's all of our mods. All right, you guys. I love you guys. You are the best, and I appreciate you, and I thank you so much. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I'll see you guys later. If we do tomorrow, it still stays up for a few minutes over here. So if anybody has any suggestions on what I should cover, I am so open to that. There's only so many things like I can put together anything. I'll like get stuck for a topic. Like, what do I want to do tonight? What do people want to get into? So someone like, if I won't know if you guys don't share with me what it is that you want. So put some things in the comments, whether you're watching on the replay or here, and I will really consider them. Thank you again for being here as always. Oh, I'm going to play my song in the end. That's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to end it. I would have been so annoyed at myself because I did that. All right, you guys, so here is another possible version of a song that we made, or I made for the channel. All right, hold on, let me connect it. I'm so glad I didn't forget. And that's how I will close it out. Look at that. I'm so glad I remembered. I have to be honest right here. I took my medicine way late today on purpose, and I think it worked out better. I wasn't all over the place like I am sometimes when my medicine wears off. But with that being said, I'm just going to have to try and figure out how to space it out better because I don't know, but I'll figure it out. But here we go. Here goes nothing. All right, I'm going to hide my picture, and we're going to play this. And good night, everybody. Mwah.
Open tabs, margin notes, highlighted, bleed through quotes, research mind, steady eye, patterns only she can note. I-95, whispering under wheels, skyline after glow, 2 states, packed rooms, quiet minds, and no sign needed out front. They circle to a voice, questions rise before she starts, curiosity by choice. She pivots mid-lecture, checks who leaning in close. Say the part you skip out loud, that's where the learning goes. Heads home with the speakers up, Biggie in the background, mind still mapping theories while the city slows down. She teaches the why behind the crime, the hurt behind the face. Philly in the back, no psychology in the grace. Don't let the hype fool you. She stands 10 stories tall. She don't just teach a lesson, she teaches you through it all. Late nights with case files, open notes, and a margin glow. She's showing you your story's roots so you could choose where to go. Biggie quotes inside the slides, right next to coping skills. Spread love between the lines of how a nervous system feels. Long days, quiet grit, humor in the punchlines. You were more than this moment. Written 10 times, old assessments in a folder, ink dust on her sleeve. She can map anxious attachment before you know you breathe. 1 foot in Jersey lecture halls, 1 on a Philly street. Home is where she learned to fight, classes where we don't repeat. Grown kids texting check-ins, pride she doesn't post. She teaches minds all day, then goes her mother's most. Case files, true crime, mind behind the scenes. She doesn't tell you what they did, she shows you what it means. Your story is not your diagnosis. You are allowed to rewrite it.
All right. So that was that one, and I have one other one. If you guys don't want to stay for the other one, you really don't have to. But if you do, that would be amazing. So you could tell me which one you liked better. I did one at the beginning too, but let's see what we like out of these two. Let's see.
Open tabs, margin notes, highlighted lethal quotes, research mind, steady eye patterns only she can note. I 90 fog, whispering under wheel, skyline, afterglow, 2 states, packed rooms, quiet minds that know, no sign needed out front. They circle to her voice, questions rise before she starts, curiosity by choice. She pivots mid-lecture, checks who's leaning in close. Say the part you skip out loud, that's where the learning goes. Heads home with the speakers up, Biggie in the background. Minds still mapping theories while the city slows down. She teaches the why behind the crime, the hurt behind your face. Philly in her backbone, psychology in her grace. Don't let the hype fool you, she stands 10 stories tall. She don't just teach the lesson, she teaches you through it all. Late nights, case files open, notes in the margin glow. She's showing you your story's roots, so you can choose where to go. Biggie quotes inside the slides, right next to coping skills. Spread love between the lines of how a nervous system feels. Long days, quiet grit, humor in the punchlines. You are more than this moment. Written 10 times, old assessments in a folder, ink dust on the sleeve. She can map anxious attachment before you know you breathe. 1 foot in Jersey lecture halls, 1 on the Philly street. Home is where she learned to fight, classes where we don't repeat. Grown kids, texting check-ins, pride she doesn't post. She teaches minds all day, then goes in mother's most. Case files, true crime, mind behind the scenes. She doesn't tell you what they did, she shows you what it means. Your story is not your diagnosis. You are allowed to rewrite it.
And that's the other. All right, so let me know which one you guys like, if you like either one of them at all. I'm still playing around with stuff. You like the first one better? Okay, that's good to know. I wonder about the one that I showed. Do you guys want to hear the one that I did in the very beginning, and then we can really choose and I can be done? Or are you guys like out? It's like, it's late. Let's see. Let's see. You like the first one? That's good to know. All right, well, we could do the first one, maybe. Awesome. Thank you for your feedback. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I actually like the first one better too. So that makes me happy. Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Awesome. And then forget the other one. It's late. I'll do it another time. All right, you guys. You are all amazing. And I appreciate you. First one. Yes, I agree. All right, cool. All right, you guys, have a great night. I love you all, and I will talk to you all soon. And you all look fabulous tonight. The first one for sure. Oh, wow. Okay. That's so good to know. You guys are amazing. You all look fabulous. Have a fabulous night.